Hey everyone, welcome to Snarf Talk with Chris.
And Jerry.
And this is our podcast where we give you a behind-the-scenes look as we create a comic book.
We're going to talk about TV, movies, comic books, and hopefully have a lot of guests, other writers, creators, and friends.
Check us out at snarfcomics.com. You can check out our blog and follow along with everything we got going on. Also, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Snarf Comics. And please subscribe and leave a review on iTunes.
Enjoy the episode. Snarf Talk.
And we're back.
In the house.
I'm very excited to be doing a podcast tonight.
Man, I am too. I really am.
We were supposed to do it last night.
We are, but Chris had to spray all night.
But I worked hard.
You did. In the fields.
Toiling.
Toiling the soil. Is that what they call it?
Toiling the soil?
Yeah.
Sure.
Can you toil soil?
No. You can toil in the soil.
Oh, that's where
it's kind of like Rumble in the Jungle.
It is.
Toil in the soil.
We got to rumble in the jungle, brother.
It's like a big boxing match between like two Midwestern guys. It's the Toil in the Soil in Decatur, Illinois.
It's like
hurry.
Oh, there's a Saturday Night Live bit where Chris Farley is General Schwarzkopf, and they have him on a Weekend Update, and I'm trying to remember what he says. He says something really funny. But Amy and I were literally just discussing this, and I've brought it up once before. I can't ever remember anything I'm going to say when I'm on this podcast.
Yeah, no.
And as soon as I get in the truck, I'm like, oh yeah, that's what.
That's why, as I mentioned before, we need to have a corrections and additions segment.
Yeah.
Because we're frequently wrong about stuff.
Yeah, for sure. And now I understand how, because people like yell at the radio, when you're wrong. Oh. And there are people that have done that to us. And I do it all the time to podcasts. Like, how would you not know that? Like, duh, it's this guy.
Right.
But I have this problem where I cannot think of things. And I don't know why. I think it's because maybe it's because I put myself on the spot. I don't know.
I got a great one to start off our segment of corrections. But there's a little twist this time.
Okay.
It's not corrections. It's shit we were right about.
Shit we were
that
right.
we were tried to be corrected about.
Oh, yeah. I know exactly what you're going to talk about because you said it first. And then I said who the lead singer was, which we were both correct. We just left out a member of the group.
Mr. David Seedentap. I'm using your last name.
Yeah, we're coming at you.
We're calling you out. I get a text one day, a group text between me and Jerry.
The whole Snarf Talk team.
And you could tell he was out for blood, right?
He was. Oh, he was sick for blood.
He was just wanting to just...
Bloodthirsty.
Yeah, bloodthirsty.
That's how pigs get.
And he says...
They eat their tails.
I'm going to paraphrase what he said. This isn't exactly what he said note for note. He goes, Chris, you are such an idiot.
This is what I felt from it, too.
I mean, this is the general
attacked.
tone.
It was like an attack.
You said the Bee Gees sang Killing Me Softly, and it was Wyclef Jean. Ha ha ha.
Jean.
You're an idiot.
Come on. Pronounce it at least correctly.
Something along those lines.
Wyclef Jean. You're French. You know.
This relates back to a podcast earlier where I was singing the song, Killing Me Softly with His Love.
It was episode 17.
Killing Me Softly
Round
day
1.
by day.
Snarf Madness 2019.
Killing me softly with His love.
With His
Killing me
song.
softly. Anyway, I was singing that, and we commented on the fact
it took us a little bit. It took us a little bit of hashing it out.
The Fugees.
Yep.
And we came up with the lead singer of the Fugees.
Lauryn Hill.
Anyway, he said, you thought that was the Bee Gees. I said, no.
Me.
I said it was the Fugees.
Yeah.
And he said, oh, yeah, Fugees. But it's Wyclef Jean. Not Lauryn Hill. And the whole time I am just taking screenshots that say Killing Me Softly by the Fugees. And then I like drew on the screenshot with a big circle and arrow pointing it to it. And then the next one I found lead singer Lauryn Hill and circled that and sent an arrow to it.
And Wyclef Jean was in the Fugees.
He was. I'll give him that.
So he was correct.
So then after,
but we were too,
in horrible defeat and embarrassment, he came back with but you said. You said, what's the gestation period of a dinosaur or whatever?
Oh, lizards.
Reptiles lay eggs.
I started looking that up too because...
And I aptly pointed out that some reptiles gave live birth and then did a little research and found out that there is paleontological proof or evidence that suggests that they found maybe a dinosaur that might have given live birth.
Live births.
So we don't know.
It is true, but here's the thing.
To be fair, I'm sure most dinosaurs did probably lay eggs.
And aren't most dinosaurs more closely related to birds than they are reptilian things?
I think that they evolved into birds, but they were reptiles at the time.
But they found them with feathers on them. They have...
Yeah, for sure. I'm not saying, but I'm just saying, like, I think they were reptiles, and then they, over time...
developed birds.
Evolved into birds.
Okay.
So there were probably, by my estimation, there were no birds at the time of the dinosaurs. And then all the dinosaurs were killed by the impact meteor.
Meteorological.
And that's when mammals, the small mammals, rodents and whatnots, began to develop the mammalian family, which involves us.
Yes. Oh, is that us? Oh,
and
okay.
the dinosaur side evolved into birds, and some of the reptiles that survived that, such as some of the relatives of turtles and crocodiles. Turtles, by the way, are they reptiles or are they amphibians?
Turtles are amphibians.
No, they're definitely reptiles. You're wrong.
They're amphibians.
No, they're reptiles. Amphibians like breathe through their skin. Like frogs are amphibians.
Yeah, I know. They breathe through their mouth, don't they?
They have lungs, but they can also breathe underwater, can't they?
No.
Okay, fair enough.
What is an amphibian? Now that you say that, what's the definition of amphibian?
A frog.
It's just like water dwelling. It's like a water dwelling reptile.
Well, but that's
then
not
you got
true.
a crocodile.
Water snakes are not amphibians.
Well, no, snakes are completely different.
But there's water. You just have water. Amphibians are cold-blooded vertebrates.
Oh, cold-blooded.
So are reptiles.
Oh, so are reptiles.
That don't have scales. They live part of their lives in water and part of their lives on land.
That's it. They just don't have scales.
Basically, frogs and toads.
Salamander.
I mean, toads don't live in the water, really.
No.
I mean, they go to water.
They need to be wet.
Yeah. I don't know if they need to be wet like all the time.
They can't dry out. They can't
so what do
just
they do? Dig underground?
Yeah, they live in the mud.
They live in the mud.
They bury themselves in mud.
Salamanders.
That's what I just said. Boom.
I don't. What are muskrats?
Muskrats are like a water-dwelling mammal.
So they're like a beaver, rat, basically.
Yeah, they're like a beaver. They're a small beaver with a skinny tail.
I mean,
with
I see them all the time. I mean, not all the time, but I used to when I was a kid. When I went canoeing.
They're related to like beavers and otters and stuff. They got to be in that family.
They're in the otter family, huh? The otter family. Da-da-da-da.
That's good. We can make another song out of otters.
Otters.
Otter.
Do you know that there was a time recently that they're trying to select a new mascot for the University of Illinois?
Yeah.
After they've gotten rid of the chief. I don't want to get into it.
Yeah, okay.
I'm very pro-chief, but I don't want to get into it.
As am I.
Anyway, the leading contender was the Alma Otters.
The Alma Otters.
The Alma Otters.
Oh my gosh.
And it was going to be an otter.
Okay.
It started as a joke, but then it picked up some traction in the voting.
Picked up some steam.
It didn't happen, thank God, because that's terrible. But
yeah, I want nothing to do with that.
Anyway, that's it. I just want to point out on our correction segment that we didn't need to be corrected. Mr. David Seedentop needs to be corrected.
Went out of his way to try to correct it. Snarf? I mean, that's kind of a chore, bud. Especially when you're talking about the Fugees, because we know all about the Fugees.
I know everything about them.
Yeah, that Lauryn Hill and Wyclef Jean. were in that band, and they sang "Killing Me Softly."
I mean, I know all of their musical catalog, mainly because I have it in front of me on the computer right now.
Right. Because we've looked it up.
Lauryn Hill went on to be like a solo artist, right?
Yeah.
Big
she did.
time. Like she was
Pretty
popular.
good, yeah.
She probably still is doing stuff.
I think Wyclef was one of those people that was like featuring.
I always get her
all the
confused
time.
with the girl that played the piano. Alicia Keys?
Alicia Keys, yeah. They don't look anything alike.
No, and Alicia Keys I think is a lot better.
Much. Yeah, but I feel like Wyclef Jean was always the guy that was kind of like Timbaland. How it's always like featuring Timbaland.
I don't know who that is.
In the 90s, you know Timbaland?
Nope.
Timbaland?
I know like the shoes.
Yeah, I think they're his shoes. No, I made that up. No, it's like I feel like it's always like featuring this guy. It's like he never had his own music. It was just
Well, he was a member of that band.
No, I'm saying after
He must have been a producer.
probably. I don't know. Or maybe he just wanted to sell his shoes. You know?
Hey, you know that Fugees had a song called Rumble in the Jungle?
No, they didn't.
They did.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
So that's your theme song then.
If they only had a song called Toil in the Soil.
That would have been so good. That's
You know
funny.
how everybody, like, I don't know if you are connected into that, like, ag Twitter world, but, like, the
a little bit.
like, the
not
biggest,
much.
most popular hashtag is, like, plant 19 or plant whatever the year is.
Yeah, I can understand that.
I don't know. I can't stand that stupid hashtag. I can't
Why?
stand it. I don't know. It just drives me crazy. But anyway,
Why do you follow it then? I thought you didn't even get on Twitter much.
I don't. But I mean, I just see people always, they do it on Facebook. They do it on everything. It's like plant 19, like we're ready to roll. Picture of them.
Oh yeah, and then
Plant
they always
19.
do like harvest 18, harvest 19. They do the same
Yeah,
thing with that.
that's the hashtag. And
Yep.
it drives me crazy. But I think I'm going to start like an ag trending hashtag that's hashtag toil in the soil.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. People will follow that.
I'd follow it.
I'd follow
I
it.
probably wouldn't, but
Why? It's catchy. That's what people want.
ag social
Catchy.
media is it's an interesting gambit.
How so?
I don't know. I feel like a lot of it is people trying to show off.
Show off like their equipment?
Yeah,
Or
like-
show off their ability or show off their crops?
Everything.
Okay. So
I don't know.
what do you like? So show off like, I think it's more equipment oriented than anything, right?
Yeah, probably.
Which really doesn't make a difference.
No.
I mean, show off wise, sure. Like some equipment can do a better job at things than others.
I'd rather
but-
see somebody that has like a bunch of like either like old equipment that they're like
Oh, okay.
keep and maintain, that they're
Yeah.
like, look, I got this, or like stuff that they've made,
Yeah,
which
I
I
think that's
is
really cool. They do that a lot on. Do you follow farm hats?
Yeah.
You don't like that?
I don't know. I don't know if we have listeners that are in the farm hat community. I
No,
don't
that's
wanna-
fine. All I was
I'm
going
not
to
a
say.
big fan of the farm hats community.
Oh, that's fine.
Not the community. The people seem fine. It's just, I don't know. I'm
There's
not a
n-
big. I'm not a
there's
fan
not
of
much.
that group.
I mean, you're not really going to gain much from it, I'm saying. But every once in a while, somebody will post something that is like an upgrade to whatever they were doing, or like a quick fix or something like that they've done to improve their production or whatever it is that they were trying to improve. And I think they're cool. They were like little hacks. You know what I mean?
I love hacks.
Yeah, every
All
once in a
hacks.
while
Give
you'll
me all
see
the
something
hacks.
like that, and I think that's pretty neat.
I was in like a trending viral farm hats video once.
What you were?
Yeah, somebody was making a video. I can't remember exactly what it was. It was about stirrators. And
Oh, yeah.
I took a video in the bin, and I'm like, I'm a farmer and I have stirrators. Or
Yes.
whatever. I can't remember.
I remember that. That was years ago.
Yeah,
Wasn't
it was
like
like
2 years ago?
Yeah, a couple of years ago.
Yep.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a fun community to get on. Sometimes people are just kind of annoying on there.
Yeah. It can
It's
be
just
that
like
way.
any other social media, though. You know,
Not ours though.
no,
Not
no.
Snarf Talk. Hey,
Which
so
we've been slacking on lately.
let's
but-
get into it. Do you want to do Snarf Madness round? What is it? 6 now, or do you want to save it for later?
No, now.
Right now. You want to finish her out?
The whole thing. The Snarf conclusion
Snarf conclusion, and we're gonna give you the
is upon
scores.
us. Snarf Madness conclusion.
Okay. So last
Endgame, if you will.
Oh, that's what we're naming
Snarf
it.
Madness Endgame.
Oh man, because guys, the week we're recording it.
Well, we're going to talk about that later.
What?
Endgame.
Week. Yeah, I'm just saying the week we're recording this comes out. Well, technically tomorrow night, but
tomorrow night
we're going to see it.
Friday night is Endgame.
We're going to see it.
Yeah, we got some more to talk about on that front.
Okay, cool. So, Snarf Madness 2019 Endgame now.
Now it's happening.
So last episode we picked our championship round.
So yeah, we picked our championship round, and
I picked Rogue One to be in the championship, and then I threw a curveball in there.
Oh yeah, you did.
I did big time, and I picked Inception.
Yes, I forgot about
Inception over Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I've thought about this literally, and no joke, I've thought about this pick for the last week, if I did the right thing or not. And then I went and I watched Inception again. Just
for real?
Yeah, just like, what was it? It would have been Saturday night, I think.
I don't even really remember that.
It's on HBO. Watch it.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's on HBO.
Oh, I'm totally going to watch it like tomorrow.
So, yeah, watch it. And I feel like it was the right pick.
Yeah?
I do. I really feel like it's the right pick just because I'm basing it off of the sci-fi world, right? Yeah. Not necessarily just comic books. I really felt like Inception just has so much more weight and story and I don't know, just more to it than what Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse did. Great story. I think it's the best comic book movie that's came out like to date because it's freaking awesome. I love how they're blending the worlds. I love how they brought in Miles Morales. It's an incredible character. Spider-Man in general is just a loving character that everybody enjoys, and the story is great. But I don't know, Inception was like,
if you had to pick between Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse and Spider-Man Homecoming.
Oh, Into the Spider-Verse.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would pick it just because I think it is a better story. I think Homecoming is a very good live action Spider-Man. It's probably the best live action Spider-Man by far. And obviously my man, I can't think of his name now either. Michael Keaton. Jeez Louise. He like knocks it out of the park in that movie.
Yeah,
I think
sure.
As the Vulture. And
don't call it a comeback.
As the dad. No, it's not. I think he's great. But yeah, I like Into the Spider-Verse better than Homecoming. I don't think I'll like it better than Far From Home though. Coming out.
You don't even know about it yet though.
I know, but I think with all of the characters that they're going to have in that movie and the fact that it's coming after Endgame, so you know what's already happened, I think it adds a little more to that movie.
I don't know that I'm a huge Jake Gyllenhaal fan. I mean, I like Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah.
But in the trailers, I don't know. I think maybe he's too big of a celebrity to be in that role. But
I don't agree.
Well, we'll find out.
Look at all the people that have been Avengers.
Yeah, but they grew with the Avengers. They weren't necessarily celebrities to start, other than maybe Benedict Cumberbatch.
I don't think Jake Gyllenhaal is that big of a star.
He isn't so much anymore, probably.
Yeah.
To a younger audience. I mean, he had his run, though. Definitely.
Yeah, broke back. Got him there.
I mean, I don't think there was anything, like, incredible. I'm not saying he's, like, God's gift to acting. I can't really even think of one movie.
No way.
That I particularly
liked
him in. There was one where he was a photographer that was kind of good. He was in The Prince of Persia, which was terrible.
Yeah, that was not a good movie.
He was in Donnie Darko. That's a good movie.
Oh, he was.
Wasn't he in that?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was
I
like
think
the main guy. But he was a kid in that movie, wasn't he?
Okay. Who cares about Jake Gyllenhaal? Let's get to this. So I had Rogue One and Inception into the championship. Who do you have?
I have Guardians of the Galaxy versus Spider-Man.
Guardians versus Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm. And that was another one that I had Spider-Man versus Thor Ragnarok. You know, I could go really either way on that pick. I picked Spider-Man just, I think, because it was so different, although I still think Thor was. I don't personally. I mean, it just the way brackets are. I
Yeah.
don't think Spider-Man is the second best movie on this bracket. But you know, for me, it just on how that worked out, I'm all right with that. I'm good with that. I love Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
Which I did want to bring up in the meantime.
Okay.
One of our listeners who's in the Bracket Challenge
Okay.
was commenting that they watched Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse and hated it.
Oh yeah, and
Yeah.
it wasn't anything really about the story or anything like that. It
He
was
couldn't get past the
animation,
which I thought was one of the best parts.
and so at first I can sympathize to this because it did honestly take me a little bit to get used to it. Because when it first started, I was like, oh, okay, wait a minute, how's this gonna work?
And they
And
do
then-
like intentionally like blur it sometimes.
Yeah, that's the part I had to get used to, but I got used to it relatively quickly. I mean, it didn't affect the movie to me at all.
I barely even noticed it. I thought the animation was cool.
Oh, I think it's awesome. I did notice it in the beginning, and it was I had to like adjust to it, like adjust my vision to be able to watch that, I guess, in a way. But it did not affect the movie in the slightest to me.
No.
And it definitely did not make me hate it.
It definitely did for him.
Yeah, he did not like the animation. It did. That really surprised me.
So maybe give it another shot, Mr. Ian.
Yeah,
We'll see.
take another look at it. Okay, so do you want to go or
Go ahead. You go first.
Oh boy. Okay.
The championship
I don't know if
picks.
I don't know if I'm ready for this.
Dun, dun,
Like, I don't know if I'm ready for
dun,
this to
dun,
be
dun,
over
dun,
with
dun,
right
dun,
now.
dun, 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 dun,
Rogue
dun,
One
dun, 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 dun,
versus
dun, dun,
Inception.
dun, 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 dun.
I like Inception a lot. I like Rogue One a lot. And I just watched Inception the other day, and it solidified the pick for me. Really did. I haven't watched Rogue One in a while. But the one I'm going to pick, and the reason why, is because it has so much emotion, so much feel, so much like it's different than anything you'd expect. I guess Inception's different too, but Rogue One is the pick I'm going with.
Rogue One.
To win it all for my bracket, because we've talked about it over and over again. I love everything about it. I love that everyone, spoilers, dies at the end. You don't get to see like their happy ending is watching the world explode, knowing that the fact that,
And it is a happy ending to them.
to them it is. They're like, okay, we did this. We got it done. It should be okay. They have no idea.
Yeah.
They got incinerated, but
It's honestly because
that
like,
last scene is just
it's
unbelievable.
in a weird way too, because none of them are soldiers,
No.
right? None of them,
No.
really, except for maybe the one dude with the big gun. But the rest of them aren't really soldiers,
Right.
So for them to like kind of look at that and be like, mission accomplished, and I'm happy to have played my part, and I'm willing to sacrifice. Which is, if you think about it, it's kind of like a soldier's attitude.
Yeah, it is.
It
I think they become more that way because of like what they're doing.
I think it's even like they become more than that, even because they become part of a cause.
Yeah.
A.
Oh, for sure they do. They know that they're part of a cause. They know what they're doing.
They're a cog in a bigger machine, and they played their part, and they played it well.
Yes, that's the point right there, is that they understand their role, and then once they get their job done, they know like.
And the rebels
We're done.
live to fight another day.
Unreal, dude. Like
And then they cap it off with the last scene of Darth Vader doing something that you've never seen before.
But the last scene of the main character sitting on the beach, just watching their impending doom, like come closer and closer to them.
For me, that was my favorite part at the
Oh, my
end,
gosh.
and everybody loves. And the first thing they talk about is the Darth Vader scene in
course.
the end, because I honestly wasn't. I knew Darth Vader was going to show up.
Yep.
I wasn't expecting it to lead directly into A New Hope. I really wasn't.
Right.
But and that was awesome, amazing. I mean, I realized once they were on the blockade runner ship or whatever you call it, that's what was going on at the very end. But I didn't know that going in. So
No, I didn't either. I knew that Darth Vader had a big scene only because Kevin Smith had talked about it prior to me seeing the
I
movie.
think they showed some of it in the trailers too.
Did they? I don't
think
remember.
they showed him in the dark firing up his lightsaber. And you knew it was him.
I did think before that movie ever came out that he was going to have a bigger role.
For
have
sure.
a bigger part.
They definitely played it up like he was going to.
Absolutely.
You know what they really need to do is a solo Darth Vader movie or franchise. Like a 3-movie franchise.
Gosh, that would be so cool. In between...
There's so much... Think about the real screen time of Darth Vader. You know, it's very little.
Yeah, it's
through
it's
the
not
whole
much.
saga. It's very little.
It is not much at all.
But he's the presence behind it all, like to make that such a menacing character.
I mean, really, the beginning of the story is all 100% about him,
right?
And how he becomes Darth Vader, and then after that, once he becomes Darth Vader, it's like we're not going to show you anything else about him.
Do you think that there's going to be? I know we're getting a little off topic, but do you think that there's going to be a return to Anakin in this final movie into 9? Because
I don't know. Maybe
it was always kind of made to believe that the whole series was really about Anakin Skywalker.
Right. Yeah, it is.
In the 6-movie series, that's what it's about.
That is what it's about.
But now they've kind of shifted gears, and do you think they kind of tried to make it more about Luke?
Well, I mean, once Return of the Jedi happened, it is really about Luke after that, right?
I guess, but it doesn't have to be. It can still be about Anakin.
In a way. I mean, he's dead, but he could be a Force ghost.
For sure.
So,
I mean, we thought the Emperor was dead.
Yeah.
We thought Luke was dead. I don't think
Luke's
Obi-Wan's
dead.
There's another one they could do a whole 3-movie series on.
Yeah.
And Ewan McGregor's still young enough. And he doesn't have to be young enough.
No, he could be older.
There's so much they could do.
He has to be older.
That's what they should do. Not a solo movie franchise.
Mm-hmm.
That shouldn't have happened. That should have been an HBO series. They should do the Obi-Wans. People want to see Jedi.
Oh, yeah. People want to see Jedi fighting. It's not necessarily just Jedi. They want to see battles of Jedi doing awesome things with a lightsaber.
The other thing we didn't need from Han's Solo movie was an origin.
No. I know you, and you hate the fact how he got his name, too.
You know?
Yeah, he had a ton of adventures, but...
all right, we should get back to it.
Yeah. So I said mine. I picked Rogue One.
Rogue One is Jerry's champion.
Mm-hmm. My champion bracket.
The champion.
Woo! Yeah!
Okay, so I have Guardians of the Galaxy versus Spider-Man. Again, another tough one for me because they're both like firsts and they're both like big time beginnings of something. But for me, this is pretty easy, honestly. I still go back and forth on that, picking Guardians of the Galaxy over Rogue One. You know, we've discussed Rogue One's amazing, but I got to go with what's had the biggest cultural impact. It's funny, Alex, who's another one that's in this bracket challenge. Actually, he's leading in mine. He over the weekend, I got together with him, and he was talking about, I've never seen Rogue One.
Oh my gosh!
And I'm like, this is right up his wheelhouse. I'm like, how is that possible? He's like, I don't know. I never saw it. So after listening to this podcast, I'm like, I gotta go watch this movie. He's been wanting to watch it. He bought it. He had it. He just hadn't seen it. And he's like, I'm gonna be honest. It took me like a couple tries to get through like the first, because he works midnights, so he's tired when he's watching this stuff probably. Yeah. And he's like, it took me a couple tries to get through like the first half hour. It starts off really slow. And I go, yeah, I guess, because it kind of does. It does start off a little slow.
Yeah, it does in a way. It's building up the story.
And I kind of had forgot about that. And I mentioned it too in one of the podcasts that it starts a little slow, but the second act is better, and then the third act is better, and it just goes up now. So I just thought that was interesting. And I think he ended up, I'm not sure if he did finish it or not. But anyway, I went with Guardians of the Galaxy. And for me, I'm going with Guardians of the Galaxy as my championship.
Oh my gosh.
Pick. Are you surprised?
Kind of. Maybe. I guess I shouldn't be, but I don't know. I'm so surprised that it even made it that far. I'm surprised that you had it beating Rogue One. I'm surprised by all of it.
I'm not sure about that pick, but that's what I picked. So I'm going Guardians of the Galaxy all the way for several reasons. I mean, it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
It
is so fun.
The beginning of a new universe of characters. Mm-hmm. I like the direction more so that Marvel's going with the cosmic, and they've talked about this going into the next phase, right? They're going to kind of do that same thing where there's going to be the cosmic series of movies and the Earth series of movies.
Yeah.
So they're gonna keep going in both of those worlds. And for me, I like the sci-fi aspect of the cosmic type stuff, and it feels very Star Wars like.
It does. I do like that better than the Earth-based.
I think it's just,
stuff.
like going back. That's the kind of stuff I've always liked. Like I love Dune, the Dune series, and I
can't wait for that to come out.
I love Ender's Game, the whole Ender's Game and Speaker for the Dead series, and I love, Star Wars and even Star Trek to a certain extent. And any books or things that take place across galaxies and planets, I'm really into. That's when I get up. So anyway, I'm going with Guardians of the Galaxy, and as far as cultural impact, it's not even close. Guardians of the Galaxy's had a way bigger cultural impact.
That's all right though. It's what we what we wanted.
But give us a couple more Spider-Man movies, and we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, for sure.
Right now we've seen, in my estimation, 4 Guardians of the Galaxy universe movies: Guardians of the Galaxy 1, 2, Infinity War, and Thor Ragnarok. I think they all feel like they're part of that universe.
To a point. I mean, I think Thor Ragnarok is obviously a Thor movie.
I'm not saying it's not a Thor movie, but it definitely has reverberations in
that world,
the Guardians of the Galaxy style and universe, and in insofar as Jeff Goldblum's character is related to the Collector or their Eternals or whatever. I don't know what they are, and it's it just felt very much like that. And Infinity War, obviously, Thanos and Gamora, and those are the main characters of that.
Yeah, it's all tied together.
So I'm going with Guardians of the Galaxy. So that's it, guys.
That's it. That is
the champions.
That is the end game.
The end game is Rogue One and Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
When I started
that's a solid. Those are solid picks,
for sure.
Man.
When I first got this bracket, I looked at the bracket and I said, it's definitely, for me, it's going to be Rogue One is going to win this bracket.
I did too, and I did it.
And I didn't do it.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I would have never thought Inception got that far for me. Never in a million years.
I honestly, what was Inception against early?
Where did it go?
Yeah, Inception didn't have a lot of stiff competition.
No, Midnight in Paris, and then Scott Pilgrim. Or no.
Mine was
Midnight in Paris,
War of the Planet of the Apes.
War of the Planet of the Apes.
And then I had to go against either Skyfall or Scott Pilgrim.
Scott Pilgrim. Yeah.
So, I mean, it didn't have a lot of competition until really it got against either Thor.
Yeah.
And again,
So that was, I had it against Thor Ragnarok.
I think you probably made the right pick there.
And it beat Thor Ragnarok, and then I had it against Spider-Man.
It would have been interesting to see an Inception versus Looper. Because I feel like they kind of are in the similar vein of non-comic book sci-fi time travel based kind of.
To me, I think it's obvious I would have picked Inception.
Yeah, I'm not so sure how they would.
Not a huge fan of Looper. It is a good movie.
I'm gonna have to go rewatch it because I think I'm maybe giving it a little more credit than it deserves.
I feel like you are.
I've only seen it once.
I've only seen it once too, and it just, I don't know. It did not stand out to me. And it's cool. It's a cool movie. It just didn't stand out to me the same way. So, now we got our scores, right?
We do.
We have scored all of it. The last scores you guys have probably heard was round 3.
Round 3. Then we took a break because we didn't want you guys getting a little
ahead,
high on your horses.
Do you want to go through each round, or do you just want to say like, listen, this is who's won?
I'll just do some highlights on mine. We'll do Chris's bracket right now, and if you remember, by round 3, it was a really neck and neck tie with Alex versus Erica, both 60 and 59 respectively, and then everybody else was really close. I had a 3-way tie at 54, so everybody was in the mix. Round 4 came around and the scores were pretty even, with Maggie getting a perfect score that round in round 4, 16, and Dude getting very well at 12. The rest were 8s, and Ian had a 0 in round 4. Wow. Then I went to round 5. Ian had a 0 again. Actually, everybody had a 0 except for Maggie, Erica, and Alex all had 6. So that was kind of still neck and neck, and Maggie was coming back in a big way. Round 6, I did have 2 people pick the championship. Erica and Alex. So
wow,
Erica and Alex were 1 point apart in round 3. In round 4, they tied. In round 5, they tied. In round 6, they tied.
Holy crap! So round 3 is the only difference.
That was the decider. That was the decider. Ian was kind of in the mix, but he scored a 0-0-0.
Yeah,
in 4, 5, and 6.
Same with me, Ian. You scored 0-0-0 in 4, 5, and 6.
So Chris's bracket championship Snarf Madness bracket winner is Alex. With a score of 84 out of a possible 126.
Yep, 126.
So that's really good. Second place, Erica with 83. 1 point decided the championship, folks, and my bracket. Third place was Maggie and Zach. And then fourth place was Dude. And on down the line, last place to Heather.
Yeah. What'd she get for you?
39.
Oh, wow. Okay. So for me, round 4 highlights. I had 3 people in round 4 score the same. They all scored 12. That was the highest score in my round 4. Alex got a 12, Maggie got a 12, and Dude comes in with a 12.
Yeah, Dude had a 12 in mine too.
Again, Ian, Heather was respectable with an 8. She got 2 out of 4 right.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good for her. I mean, for that, I don't mean that as negatively as that sound, but I mean, comparative to the other rounds, that was probably your best round. Yeah, so Dude, Maggie, and Alex had 12s. Ian, big time 0. Round 5 and 6, Ian also got a 0. Round 5, I had 4 people with a 6 and 3 with 0s. Erica got a 0 in my round 5. Erica also only had a 4 in my round 4.
Ooh.
So she ended up round 4 with a 4, round 5 with a 0, and round 6, 0.
0.
It killed her. She was my leader up until round 4, and that literally killed her off. And so round 6, I had 2 people guess the winner, Jason and Maggie.
Jason coming back.
Not really.
Okay.
He got pretty decent scores. The last 3 rounds kind of brought him up a little bit, but it ended up being, for me, the winner of my bracket scored a 91.
Wow.
That's a high score, and it all happened because of her and his last 3 rounds.
Oh, that's what I was thinking. Okay.
So Maggie and
Zach,
91. But my second and third place were also 1 point apart. And Alex scored a 77 and Erica got a 76.
Oh,
yeah, it's nuts. If Erica would have scored in any of those rounds,
it's just occurring to me now, but we could have not had 2 separate bracket winners. We could have just went by points.
Yeah.
Which would have made Maggie and Zach the big winners.
The big winner there.
But we have 2 winners.
Maggie and Zach,
which is one person.
Yeah, it only counts as one.
And Alex.
Yeah.
So you guys will be receiving a Snarf Talk t-shirt.
Yep.
Snarf Talk sticker.
Mm-hmm.
And an indeterminate gift card of our choosing.
And the only reason it's indeterminate is because Chris and I have only discussed this gift card while we're recording. So like when we're not recording this podcast, we should probably talk about those things. Don't you think?
We'll get it. We'll figure it out.
We'll get it one of these days.
Don't expect to get your stuff for quite some time.
Yeah, it could be Bed Bath & Beyond, Victoria's Secret, or like Suncoast, PacSun.
Oh, it could be Suncoast Video.
Yeah.
Is that still a thing?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, dude, you know what? I got some old Blockbuster Video gift cards.
We could give those out for sure.
This was after I lived here. I think every Blockbuster Video in the world had closed except for one.
There's one, right?
Well, I don't know, but at this time there was maybe one in Arkansas because it was Arkansas. And my grandma had asked my mom what I wanted for Christmas. And my mom said, Best Buy gift cards. That's all. Just get them a Best Buy gift card. This was before like Amazon or anything.
Yeah.
And she got me a Blockbuster Video gift card. This isn't like 2010, so there's just like That's no Blockbuster. Funny. And I'm like, what? Where am I going to use a Blockbuster Video gift card? And she's like, well, I told her Best Buy. And she said, well, why would anybody go to Best Buy? What's at Best Buy? Nothing's at Best Buy. I'm getting him a Blockbuster.
Oh my gosh. At that point in time, though, didn't they have an online store or something?
I don't think it was a
Blockbuster?
thing. Well, I mean, it must have been a thing because she got a gift card somehow.
Gosh, I feel so bad for those people that owned Blockbuster when they passed on Netflix.
Don't feel bad for them.
Idiots.
They're probably millionaires.
Idiot. Still?
Oh, yeah.
You think so?
Yeah.
If they're still alive. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
Because they passed up on Netflix. I don't know if you heard of that company or not.
Yeah. So you might get a Blockbuster video gift card.
Could be. That'd be really nostalgic and cool. You could keep it in a safe or in a vacuum sealed box.
No, you'll get a usable gift card. We just have yet to decide.
Yeah. Okay. That's
in about 3 to 6 months.
That's the game. That's the winners. Yeah, in roughly 6 to 9 months.
Thank you guys for playing. We really
Absolutely.
appreciate it. It was amazing. These podcasts have all took off. They're very well downloaded and
really
listened
well.
to. I think it's been awesome.
Fun.
We're going to do this every year, guys.
And then
next year is going to be completely different. We're going to make our own bracket with our own rankings.
Right. And I feel like we're going to do this a little more often than once a year. I would want to do this a little more often.
Yeah, maybe we could do like, well, I don't know, the whole March Madness, Snarf Madness.
Well, that's
that
true.
Kind of works
Good
out.
point.
We'll do other fun games though that aren't necessarily bracket challenges.
Yeah, like rock paper scissors,
that
canasta,
don't take
bridge.
us 6 weeks to resolve.
Yeah, we're gonna have an ongoing Monopoly game that we'll talk about.
I love Monopoly. Settlers of Catan.
Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah. First time I ever played that was at Meyerhofer's house.
Really?
Yeah.
It's a good game.
Years ago now. I've got a ton of news.
Oh, we better get to it then.
I
got a bunch too.
I shouldn't say I've got a ton of news. I got some things we got to talk about. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So first off, again, I'm going to wrap in the trailers into this. I'm not going to do it in what you're watching because I feel like trailers are more newsworthy than they are. I mean, you watch them for 2 or 3 minutes.
We should do a whole trailer segment.
Yeah, because I kind of got a bunch of trailers here that we got to talk about. But anyway, first thing, I got to lead it off with, guess.
I don't know.
What do I always talk about for some unknown reason?
Suicide
Squad.
All right.
James Gunn's Suicide Squad has reportedly added John Cena in the mix.
Okay, I like John Cena.
And he's replacing, what's that dude? Dave Bautista.
Was Dave Bautista in that?
Yeah, he was.
Was he Killer Croc?
He was going to be somebody. I don't know who he was supposed to play, but John Cena reportedly will play Peacemaker.
Okay. I don't know who that is.
I don't either. Didn't look him up. Don't really care.
Nice. I like John Cena though.
I think he'll be good. He was awesome in Ferdinand, and you don't like that movie.
Oh, that movie was awful. But he was pretty good in that movie Blockers.
I never saw that.
Don't. I mean, there's nothing to see, but I'm just saying he was a bright spot in that movie that was mediocre.
Okay. Next, I'm not going to talk about Suicide Squad anymore. Okay?
Unless
there's big news, but I'm done with this news segment.
Okay.
Done. A trailer came out for a TV show. It's going to be, a web television series called The Boys.
Okay.
Have you seen this?
No.
I had never seen this either. Apparently, it's a comic book that Garth Ennis did.
Love him.
And it's
he did Preacher, right?
Did he do Preacher?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I'd have to look him up. But by Garth Ennis and Derek Robertson. The show was developed by Eric Kripke, Evan Goldberg, and Seth Rogen.
Oh, okay. Well, those guys do Preacher.
Yeah, so it's about superheroes.
He did do Preacher, by the way.
Okay. It's about these American superheroes that kind of just do what they want. They have no rules. They just do whatever. They save people, but they're also like bad. It's going to be like a rated R show, and they just kind of do whatever they want. They cuss, they beat people up, they have sex with each other, they do some wild stuff.
Hancock, remember that movie?
Yeah, it is. It's like Hancock to the 10th degree.
Without a terrible ending.
Yeah, right. It's much better than Hancock. I think it looks really good. If you haven't seen the trailer, I suggest watching it because it made me want to read this comic book, so I bought a bunch of it on Comixology.
Sweet.
I shouldn't say a bunch of it. I think I bought the first like 3 or 4 issues just to get a taste of it. You can get it for like what was it, like $2.99 or something an issue on Comixology because of the 15% off because of the unlimited. And it looks like something I've never seen in superhero lore. It's everything you would want. You would like want to see superheroes do like literally whatever they want. They have superpowers. You know what I mean? Like there's a stretchy guy. There's like a guy that's just like Superman that can fly and is like basically unkillable. There's a woman that does things. I don't know.
Sexist.
You always say that. I don't know.
There's a woman that does things not important.
I don't remember her. Literally the only two
Does
I
she make
remember is
force
like a
fields
stretch.
and turn invisible?
I don't think so. It's not like that.
Okay.
But I remember the stretchy guy and I remember the Superman type guy. But looks really neat. I would suggest watching the trailer.
Led by a grinning psychopath named Butcher.
Yeah. Butcher. Oh, you're reading about it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really cool. The trailer, or I guess it wasn't necessarily a trailer, but it was like a
teaser.
A teaser for Swamp Thing.
Oh, yeah. That was on my list too.
You saw that?
Oh, so excited.
Okay.
Fraught with instability, though.
Yes.
But I don't know if any of that might all be bullshit.
No, here's why it's not bullshit. And I know it to be fact because everybody's talking about it.
Yeah.
The problem is that what happened is that they cut the episodes down from 13 to 10.
Right. But
this was going to be a continuing series. And they told them you have to end it on the 10th episode. It's done on 10th episode.
Do they know that, or it's like you have to end it in case we don't have a season 2?
No, they know that. The reason for this is because AT&T bought Warner Brothers, and now AT&T wants to have its own streaming network for all of Warner Brothers shows. So what's going to happen is Warner Brothers is going to get rid of the DC All Access or whatever it's called.
I've heard this.
They're going to get rid of the DC streaming app and basically redo it. Hopefully, now the big hope here is that they would keep those DC shows and not scrap them.
Why wouldn't they?
Why would
It's the same company.
It's what AT&T wants now. It's not what Warner Brothers wants. AT&T owns Warner Brothers.
Okay, but all these shows that DC had, these DC streaming shows, were produced by Warner Brothers, correct? Because they have a partnership. Doesn't Warner Brothers have all the TV and film rights for DC?
Correct. But now AT&T does.
Well, I understand
so it's
that.
Whether or not these people want them to do it.
I think that I'm sure that Warner Brothers still acts with its own certain amount of autonomy.
I hope so.
I'm guessing.
But they're ending Swamp Thing at the 10th episode. So
we get a Swamp Thing miniseries.
Yeah, that's basically what it's going to be.
I'm fine with that. We'll see.
I don't know. I would like it. It's still supposed to come out May 31st. So it's coming up.
I feel like, okay, first of all, these DC shows on the streaming app, how many people are subscribing? You know, I guess it doesn't take a lot of subscribers to generate a pretty significant amount of money from it. But, I mean, do you think there's 100,000 subscribers? I doubt it, right?
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe 20,000?
It probably isn't that many, only because they've only had, 3 shows? I think it's Titans and Doom Patrol. And they got a bunch more coming. They do have more coming. They just, now it's like, well, do they put all those out yet? I don't think so. I think they do with Swamp Thing only because it's been slotted, May 31st, and they have to.
Yeah, if they really wanted to make a big leap and try and get subscribers, they would have to bring their CW shows, which is still Warner Brothers. Mm-hmm. They'd have to bring in Supergirl and Flash. And there
I don't see that happening.
There is a lot of people clamoring for the continuation of that Young Justice cartoon.
Oh yeah.
Not me personally, but
I don't see the Flash or Supergirl coming over there as other shows because they've had so many seasons on the CW. I feel like they can just end them.
Plus, I mean, the cost of those shows.
That's what, yeah, and to produce them would be astronomical.
Shows, yeah.
Here's the thing. So this is basically, we're living in the day and age where cable and satellite are getting killed.
Quickly becoming irrelevant.
This is like
Now, I wouldn't consider network TV yet to be irrelevant,
No.
like your broadcast channels.
I think those are
I think
always
they're
going to be
keeping
around.
DirecTV alive because there's so many people that don't understand that you don't need DirecTV to get
Yeah.
CBS, NBC, ABC, and Fox.
Right. So this
there are
is-
places where you do, but
So this is why, I mean, this is me. I am in this. I'm not the people that need Dish Network. I'm saying I'm in the group of people that I do not have satellite anymore. I don't have any cable because
Most
it's not
people I
available
know.
to me. I've gotten rid of all that. I have a regular antenna, and I get 2, 5, 7, 9, 11, 26, 50, all these, a bunch of extra HD channels.
even if you don't do that, you can still
On
get your
Hulu.
locals through Hulu or
Yeah.
through YouTube
Yep.
now. So, I mean, it's kind of expensive. I think they charge you like 20 or $30 a month.
Yeah, it is. It's like, I
Extra
know I
for
looked
that.
at Hulu, and I think for Hulu, like live, where you get live shows and stuff, it was like $40.
Yeah, it's quite a bit more.
So, but you know, in my world, I can watch all of those, and then I can subscribe to Hulu, Netflix.
Have you gone
HBO.
the next one rung down where you have a DVR, standalone DVR that can record
No,
your
so
antenna? They're not expensive.
this is what I need to do because I need to record stuff.
Right.
This is the whole reason why I haven't been watching American Idol very often, is because
You're
I
not
haven't
home
been.
between 7 and 9.
Yeah, on Monday, like Sundays and Mondays, I'm not around to
I
watch
wouldn't
them.
watch anything on network TV if I didn't have a DVR because I would never watch something live with commercials.
It's like impossible in the season of our lives right now. It's basically impossible to watch any of those network shows.
Well, plus I'm not going to watch commercials. I'm not going to do it.
I mean, it hasn't bothered me in the slightest to have commercials on because there's just so many other things going on in my house that I
think like most people that don't do the antenna thing, that don't have cable or satellite, and I always say, I'm like, why don't you just hook up your antenna or hook up an antenna?
Yeah.
From here, you can get with a regular, like you don't even need the big directional
No.
antennas really. I mean, they're better.
That's what I have.
I have the same thing too, but you don't really need it. In my old house, I didn't have an antenna, and I just had one of those window ones.
Yep.
And it was fine. I didn't get
You
all of
won't
the
get channel
channels.
2 or 11 probably.
You can't get 2. Yeah.
2's the hardest to get, and 11 is kind of hard to get too. But I've got the big one. It's up 35 feet with an amplifier, and I get everything you want.
Yeah.
And it's the HD quality. You know.
Oh, it's actually higher HD quality than what you get over DirecTV.
Right. Yeah.
And pretty soon it's going to be 4K, I think.
Will it really?
Yeah,
That's amazing.
I think so. But yeah,
But isn't it
they sell a
amazing?
standalone. I think it's called Channel Master DVR that you can just hook up.
I need to get that big time.
I mean, you could do the TiVo thing, but they charge you a
Oh.
subscription fee.
But I think it's amazing that we are living in a time right now where I do feel like we are going to see cable or like satellite companies just go under. Just
I
be
don't
done.
think so.
I think we will. I think you will see.
So many people still have DirecTV.
Yeah, but I'm saying I'm not saying in the next 2 or 5 years.
First
I'm
of
saying
all,
in our lifetimes we will
in our
see those
lifetime,
companies fail. Some of them.
The problem we have right now in any sort of a rural area is we just do not have a reliable enough high-speed internet.
It's coming though. I mean, if I can, the only reason I have it is because I can see your grain leg. That's literally why I only have reliable internet.
Yeah, but you're not. Here's the deal: you're not able to get probably very high definition on our speeds. You know, you're definitely not able to get as good of.
No, maybe not, but I've never been able to notice a difference from like the Comcast I had in town, Mazan, to here now. I mean, in the other house before we built this one, before I moved, it was definitely slower. It was hard to stream things. For those 2 years, we were basically in a desert.
Yeah.
I felt alone. I didn't feel like I had a companion anymore. I mean, I was still married and my wife was around and my kids, but still, you know, you just need that internet.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I do.
For love and affection. But moving over here, since I do have a clear shot because our internet works off of radio waves and it has to have line of sight, it's been perfect.
Yeah.
Literally works all the time. It worked through all of the winter time when ice can be an issue, but heavy rain can be an issue. But since we're so close and I can see your grain leg so well, it's not an issue for me.
Yep. Shout out to MediaNet Wireless.
Yeah, MediaNet coming in
and recently
I don't know.
upgraded to fiber optics, so they're going to be significantly upgrading their speeds
Yeah, that'll be great.
over the next year.
That'll be great. But I think that's really cool. Anyway, so yeah, I don't know. Like, I guess Swamp Thing's gonna happen, but it's not the way I thought it was gonna be.
We'll see. Maybe it'll take off, be really successful, and
Here's some news that I heard about. I wish we could have went to that Star Wars celebration that was in Chicago. So apparently it was this big deal because I heard about it.
it was a huge deal.
Yeah, apparently. I really wish we could have went because I think a lot of top name people were there.
For sure.
And they showed the first, they did like a teaser trailer, but then they showed the first 6 minutes of the first episode of The Mandalorian.
Oh, wow.
That's coming out. And so I heard this on the Kevin Smith, or in the Fat Man on Batman. JC, the owner of Scum and Villainy Cantina in Los Angeles, where they do the podcast, he flew out to Chicago and went to this thing, and he went to basically all of the panels. He said they do a lottery for these panels because everybody wants to get in them. So you get a badge, and then they just draw badge numbers. Your badge has a number on it. They draw numbers, and if you get picked, you get to go to the top panels.
Nice.
So it's like the fairest way to do it, I guess. Anyway, he saw the first 6 minutes of The Mandalorian, and he said it's pretty amazing. He said at first he thought it was going to be weird because they call the guy the Mandalorian. But then he quickly realized, he says, that it's like a Western. It's going to be like a space Western because the Empire is gone. The rebellion hasn't taken over. There is no new republic or anything that is in charge. He said, and it's almost like lawlessness in space.
Right.
And the Mandalorian is a bounty hunter, and he's like the Old West kind of shoot 'em up guy. And he said it just looks really incredible. He said the only gripe he had was that it's very clear that it's like first season budget, even though it's Disney, even though Disney's got all the monies. He said it's still first season budget, and you can tell it's like somewhat cheaply made TV. He said, but it doesn't take away from anything because the acting is phenomenal. He said there's still like stormtroopers wandering around that technically don't have a job, but they're still there and they still have their armor. And he's like, there's no law.
Of course, are going to go out then and they're going to form their own groups.
Yeah.
And they're going to be gangs, essentially.
Right.
And they're going to try and take over and hold a planet. I mean, one of the most compelling parts of Star Wars Rebels, which is an amazing show, they do a lot around Mandalore and into the history and the lore of Mandalore.
Yeah.
And it's incredible. It's one of the best parts of that show. It's like a tribal culture with these kind of warring factions.
And he kind of hits on that, and he says, because originally you would assume that the Mandalorian would take place on Mandalore. It doesn't really. It's just about this one Mandalorian character that is traveling around. And so you don't see Mandalore, you just see him in space and doing his thing. So,
well, you might as the show goes on.
Yeah, I'm sure you will at some point, but it doesn't cover Mandalore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I guess he had the perception of going in like it's going to be all about Mandalore and you're going to learn about the Mandalorians.
Oh, I didn't have that perception. I kind of figured it was going to be more along that route of like a traveling.
I guess I didn't know what I thought it was going to be. I didn't really.
I thought it was cool too in Rebels. If you haven't seen Star Wars Rebels, you definitely need to watch that. But there's a point where one of the characters, I think it was, I can't remember her name now, Sabine, I think was her name. Anyway, she's a Mandalorian, and she goes back and kind of becomes the head of her family, tribe, kingdom, whatever.
Okay.
And she gets I can't remember what it's called, but it's a sword that Mandalorians had that was basically like the anti-lightsaber. It was like their defense. It was like their own version of a lightsaber.
Is it like that?
They used it to fight the Jedi.
You know that thing that those red guards had that could like block?
No, it's like it's like black, like a glowing black sword.
Oh, all right.
It was cool.
That's hot.
Yeah.
Sounds hot.
Anyway, yeah, super excited about that. And then I think, it's going to be hard once you get all these different streaming services. There's almost just really too many It's
There
like
is.
such a fragmented market right now, but you got to understand we're in the infancy of this.
Because you've got, let's think about this. So you've got Hulu, Netflix, Amazon Prime, which everybody only gets basically for the shipping.
Then they got a lot of good shows too.
And then you're going to have, so you have
HBO.
DC, which is going away, probably. HBO.
Well, it isn't though. It's just becoming a Warner Brothers streaming.
Yeah, but
which
it'll be
totally
different.
makes sense because Warner Brothers can then put all of their movie content out there, which there's
It
a
does
lot
make
of.
sense. I just hope they carry over the shows,
Right.
which right now I feel like they're not going to do.
Right.
So we'll see. Then you have, what did I say? So then you have like CBS app. They have one. They have a streaming app. Apple TV, like streaming TVs coming out.
Yeah. You have like Sling,
Yeah, Sling.
which is like a collection of things.
There are so many of them out there that I think Marvel has their own, don't they? Or
No.
they used to.
No, they have a.
Oh, it's the comic book thing.
They
They
have
have,
a
their
comic
own
book
comic
thing.
book thing. But
There's a bunch of them.
yeah,
Sony has one.
Disney Plus.
Sony Crackle, right? But that's free, so I don't know. There's
But
no.
once Disney comes out and they take all of their stuff back, holy smokes, man! Because they can take all of Fox stuff too
Yeah, I think.
away from Netflix.
And like Hulu is owned by NBC and Fox, and some of the networks own Hulu together.
Okay, so because Disney didn't get any of the Fox television stuff, right?
I don't know.
I think Fox's television portion is still its own, and then Fox's movie portion.
No, because they got X-Files.
Oh, that's right. So it's Fox Entertainment,
I think so. Yeah.
but Fox Sports would be its own thing.
Yes.
Okay. So then
And
they
maybe
would
it's
own a
not
portion.
Fox on Hulu, but you'll know if you have Hulu. I do have it, but I don't watch it very often. But there's only there's a lot of network shows.
All the network shows are on there,
but
right?
not all, not CBS.
Oh, okay.
And I think there's ABC shows on there, but maybe they won't be.
No,
Now
I
that-
know there are because I know Amy was catching
I
up
think
on Grey's
ABC
Anatomy.
Disney might own part of Hulu,
Okay.
but I'm not sure.
Well, yeah, they probably if they own some of. Wait, do they own some of ABC? Disney does.
Oh, Disney owns ABC.
So now they own Fox too.
Correct.
So it's all Disney's going to print our
owned
money.
ABC for a long time.
It's like, so Kevin Smith said this in the recent podcast. They're like, he's like, Disney's going to come out and say, do you want things that are drawn or do you want superheroes? Because we own all of them.
Right.
Everything that's drawn and every superhero
Yeah.
we own.
That's fine. Whatever.
It's incredible. Is it fine though in the long run?
They seem to be doing a good job.
Right now, it's going to be
I don't think they're like a nefarious corporation. So,
Dr. Nefario?
well, I mean, here's the thing. If the whole point of the existence of that company is to produce entertainment that people want and like.
Right. To make me happy.
So what? I mean, I'm not saying
What bad could come of it?
it's not like there's no competition.
I feel like competition.
Netflix is a huge competition.
Yeah. And I feel like competition
Amazon
is
is
good in
a
this.
huge competition.
The reason I don't want Disney to own all of this stuff is because there is nothing that then would provoke them to create new and different shows. They will create what works, but if you didn't have the competition and they didn't come out with a Swamp Thing or a Flash or a Doom Patrol or something that's different that people all of a sudden like, or like a Guardians, like nobody necessarily wanted a Guardians of the Galaxy. And then we saw it and we're like, holy shit, we needed this our entire lives.
But they have to come up with new and different stuff. That's what keeps them relevant.
Right, but I don't think it'll drive them to the off-branded comic book stuff that you don't think of. Like they could pull from the normal stuff that's in front of them. You could get kind of complacent in that because there is so much stuff.
If we're just talking comics, let's look at the facts that Netflix owns so many independent comics now.
They better start making them.
They are. I mean, they're the whole Millarverse. They're making.
Oh, yeah, they are doing the
They bought a
Millarverse.
bunch of. AMC has Preacher going and The Walking Dead. So I mean,
That's what I'm saying. So all these companies are driving that competition and bringing in those outside.
I don't think those companies are going anywhere anytime soon. I think there's a lot of content to go around, and if Disney wants to make PG-13, they're not going to have any rated R content on their channel.
Who? Oh,
Disney Plus.
Disney. Yeah.
I think that's a little bit of a mistake, to be honest. But if they want to own Star Wars, remember, Amazon owns Lord of the Rings. Amazon is one of the biggest and richest corporations in the world right now. And they are sitting here with Amazon Prime, which has a lot of great shows, but is in everybody's house anyway. So, I mean,
yeah.
There's a world in which DirecTV becomes a streaming service. I know they already have a streaming service that comes with your subscription.
Right. I don't feel like they're going to be a satellite dish box anymore.
And they're already going that direction. There's a lot of people that have DirecTV only, like, streaming.
I did not know that was a thing.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
No, I didn't.
So
okay, I have another thing.
Yeah, go on.
Deadwood teaser. Did you watch that?
I didn't see the teaser. I heard that it come out
for the movie.
Yeah, I'm very excited about that.
What I wasn't aware of is that it's an HBO film. So HBO is producing the film. It's going to be on
Yeah, I knew
HBO.
that because they own Deadwood.
Yeah, I still thought it would. I thought, honestly, when I heard that Deadwood was having a movie, I thought it would be like coming out in theaters as a movie.
No, I knew that.
I was wrong.
An HBO movie.
That also comes out May 31st. So I'm going to be able to watch Swamp Thing and Deadwood on the same day.
Amazing.
See how good that is?
Did they get everybody back for the Deadwood movie? Timothy Oliphant?
It's all of the same cast.
Sweet.
100% the same cast.
Spoilers. Didn't Al Swearingen die? Ian?
I don't remember now.
That's another one we completely forget about is American Gods on Stars.
Yeah. Oh, this is what I wanted to talk about this too when I get down to my comic book news.
Okay.
Remind me.
Okay.
Anyway, well, I guess I can go to that now because that's all I wanted to say is that Deadwood had a teaser come out for the movie. It looks identical to the way it was, just better.
Guys, if you haven't watched Deadwood, which lots of people haven't.
Oh, gosh, you need to get in there, man.
Just start. I don't think there's a whole lot that you need to watch.
I think there's 4 seasons of it.
Yeah.
Is all that came out. And
they're short seasons, too. I think they're like 10 episodes.
8 or 10 episodes, something like that.
Watch that before the movie. So good.
You really need to. I wouldn't go in just watching the movie because I do feel like you'll be left behind.
For sure, definitely. I probably have to rewatch it.
I started. I've watched the first 3 or 4 episodes of the first season again, and you could tell that it's like 2005-ish production, but still very good. It's dirty. It's out there. They don't hold back on anything with that show.
No,
it's crazy.
It's great.
Really good. So my comic book news. Oh, do you have any other news you want to cover?
No. Just we were going to talk about Endgame a little bit.
Yeah. Okay, we'll do that in our comic book news.
Okay.
Is that all right?
Yeah.
It started as a comic book.
Sure.
Did you know that? Did you know that?
Yeah.
Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah.
Okay. I just found this week. This is my comic book news, and I'll add in the American Gods after this. But they came out with a book. And let's see, it's a 12 issues and it came out February 4th, but there's been 5 episodes out or 5 books out so far. And it's called Old Man Quill.
Oh yeah, I knew that.
Did you see that?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I did not see that until just like this week.
I thought they're old manifying the entire Marvel universe because of the success of
it. Kind of bothers me in a way. And then so I read the first issue because I had to once I saw it. Once I read what it's about, and I'm going to read it to you real quick about what it's about. Do you know what it's about?
No.
Okay. So Peter Quill obviously was Star-Lord, the legendary outlaw, but it's been quite some time since he's gone by that name, taking over for his father as the Emperor of Spartax. Quill put the life of a spacefaring adventurer behind him for one of leadership and responsibility. Quill grew up, but things didn't go as planned. Decades have passed, and Peter is haunted by tragedy. Down and out, Quill's existence means nothing until the former Guardians of the Galaxy drag Peter out of his funk for one last mission. The heist of a lifetime, and Quill's harrowing quest for redemption begins here. Reading that, I was like, okay, so it's just Guardians of the Galaxy.
Right.
That's all it is. Then I read the first issue, and it's going to be bigger than just the Guardians of the Galaxy because of what happens in the first issue. And I mean, it's not super mind blowing or anything like that, but it has a lot of weight to it because he basically, I don't want to give away the first issue unless you're going to, I don't know.
Go ahead.
I hate spoiling things. Like his whole
I'm probably not going to read it.
His whole planet gets destroyed, basically. He thought he was going to be this big, military mastermind where he takes his military from Spartax and goes through hyperspace and falls right on top of the enemy that he's like fighting. And they call it the church, I think, or the church of something or something like that is attacking him. And he jumps in, attacks this lady, gets right into her ship right away. And she's like, oh, that's funny. She's like, you thought you were some military mastermind. She's like, but you left your entire planet open for attack. She's like, I think Spartax fell like 30 minutes ago. And so he races out and flies back home. And then the last image you see is this big, it's like a crater, but it's like a blast mark of their symbol, like the church. I think it's called just the church. But there's like this symbol carved into the planet, and that's all you see. And then he becomes like this massive drunk, basically. He just floats around in space on his ship, and he sleeps the whole time. And then he has his ship wake him up when he gets his shipment of whiskey in. It's either whiskey or moonshine, something like that. And that's the only time he wakes up. He drinks all of that and then goes back into like this hypersleep or whatever they call it. And the computer wakes him up for it. And then he gets woke up before his shipment comes in. And he's wondering why, and he's kind of pissed off. And then the computer tells him, like, you have a mission. He's like, what? Well, I don't have any mission. And then all of the Guardians of the Galaxy are standing there in his ship. And it seemed pretty cool. I don't think it's anything that I'm really going to continue to read. Maybe once it's all out, because there's only 12 issues.
Yeah, something like that I would only read as like a collected work.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. I bought the first one just to check it out so I could comment on it. It seems pretty cool. If you like Guardians of the Galaxy and you like Peter Quill and whatnot, this would be a good book. And I think it's looking at him in different light for sure because he's older. And they end up at the wasteland where Old Man Logan takes place, like in that wasteland era. It's the same exact time frame, I guess. And they end up down there at the end of the first issue.
Nobody seems to age.
It's pretty weird. Yeah.
I mean, I get it with Wolverine because he can't age very well.
Well, remember we talked about this, though. In space, it's different.
Yeah, I guess. Well, I mean, he's time travel. Like part god, so. He
is now, yeah. Now he is. He was created that way.
Yeah.
You're right.
Because there's another Old Man series going on right now. Old Man Punisher.
No.
Yeah, well, he's in Old Man Logan, right? We talked about this on the podcast.
He is, but I've never seen a book out with him in it.
No, he's in that, though. It says on the cover, Old Man Punisher or something like that. And it's like a really old Frank Castle.
Okay.
I'm like, well, he doesn't have the healing factor.
Yeah, that's true. He's just a man.
I mean, I haven't read it, so I don't know.
Here's what I was going to say about my comic book news about American Gods. They came out with a new comic book that Neil Gaiman is writing. And I'm sure it's written very well and the story is good to me, like looking at it, because I checked it all out. You can look at previews and stuff. The art, it's not good.
Really?
I think
they've been running an American Gods comic for a while, haven't they?
The ones I looked at, there was like only 3 issues.
Okay.
It was written by Neil Gaiman.
Originally, it was a novel.
Yes.
An amazing novel.
Yeah.
One of my favorites of all time.
The art is bad.
Okay.
Like,
I'll have to check it out.
It's like the covers look cool, but the issue I opened up and was looking inside, it looked like a kind of a crappy Sunday comic in a newspaper. And I was like really surprised that it would look that way. And so granted, I didn't buy it. I looked at a preview that Comixology will let you look at, and they let you look at like 2 pages.
They've definitely had a ton of American Gods comics.
The ones I looked at just came out.
American Gods Volume 1, Volume 2. There's a bunch of them.
Well, whatever just came out recently in the last 2 weeks, because it was issue 1, I think, that I was looking at.
Okay. Well, this was, I think, a couple of years ago. When that show started, they started running a comic book written by Neil Gaiman. I think it was just the book, basically, that was turned into a graphic novel.
Well, it's not.
And I bought a bunch of them, so that's why I know that. But I don't know what the new one is, no. So I'll have to check that out.
I'm sure the artist is very good, and maybe this is the style that him and Neil Gaiman agreed upon.
2 days ago, creative team behind American Gods on the final arc and adapting novels into comics. So they've been adapting the novel into a comic, and I think they've been doing it a while. The one that's coming out is probably volume 3. They're starting the 3rd volume, I'm guessing.
Okay. Well, if you're into that style, you can look it up. Look up the book.
Yeah,
the book itself, the novel is phenomenal.
I'm seeing some of the pages. It looks really, really weird.
Yeah.
Does not good art at all.
It looks like something that you would pay a guy a very minimal amount of money for, and it's like they didn't care.
What is going on with that? Huh. Well, we should read it before we make any judgments.
That's why I said I'm sure the writing is phenomenal, because I love almost everything Neil Gaiman has done. But I'm not jiving with the art at all.
Yeah.
So go ahead. I've got some of your,
I definitely have some of that too.
Watching.
I just wanted to point out we're on the eve of Jerry's birthday.
We are.
Happy birthday to you,
Mr. President.
Happy birthday to... Didn't we already sing happy birthday to you on one show?
I don't know why you would.
Okay. Well, happy birthday nonetheless.
Hey, thank you.
So tomorrow is Jerry's birthday.
32.
32?
32 years old.
Wow. You're getting too old for this shit.
Old, man.
And then the day after, for Jerry's birthday present...
Boom.
The Snarf team plus Dude will be going to see Avengers Endgame. By the time you hear this podcast, you've probably already seen it. If you haven't, you're a terrible human being.
So here's the good thing, is that the next podcast we can do a review, and it'll be enough time for you guys to go see it.
Yeah, it'll give you 2 weeks to see
because this episode doesn't come out until next week. It would be the 2nd of May. And so you're listening to this on the 2nd of May, probably, or 3rd or whatever. Either way, this should give you plenty of time to watch Endgame, because it's going to be the week after this that we give the review.
Right. So I'm super excited about it.
I am so pumped. I cannot believe that the day has come that we get to see the end of this whole saga. And Kevin Smith went and saw it already, because Chris Hemsworth gave him premiere tickets, because Chris Hemsworth was in Jay and Silent Bob reboot.
Yes.
And he was talking to him, and he's like, oh yeah, well, I'll see you at the premiere. And Kevin was like, yeah, okay. He's like, well, what do you mean? Aren't you going? He's like, no, I have no tickets to that. How would I ever get tickets to that? He's like, oh, well, do you want to be my guest? I've got extra tickets.
Oh my God.
It's like, yes, absolutely.
What did he say about it?
So he didn't really give any indication about it yet.
Whether he liked it?
He didn't. I mean, of course, Kevin Smith likes everything.
Right.
You know he likes it. He was talking about how he cried basically through the whole thing. So
awesome. I'm so excited.
He didn't give any sort of reviews, and he's not going to do any of them until it comes out, he said. And then after it comes out, the week after, they'll do a Fat Man on Batman review, because Mark won't get to see it until Thursday. So tomorrow, Mark's going to go see it. And yeah.
So anyway, it was Dude brought it up going to see it Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
We're all totally in. So somehow it fell on me to get tickets.
It did. I'm so glad it got pushed onto you.
So I start looking around for tickets, right? And I'm like, and this is a week ahead of time.
Yeah.
A week prior.
This was the last week, Thursday.
And of course, if you know, we refuse to see movies in Morris Movie Theater, which is awful.
Yeah. If anybody lives in Morris or in the surrounding area, obviously, don't go there.
Yeah.
If you do frequent there.
I start looking for tickets. I'm like, well, let's go see it in IMAX. What are we doing here?
Yeah.
So we got 3 or 4 different IMAX options around here. Looked up New Lenox, sold out. IMAX, sold out. 2 shows. Looked at their regular showings, all sold out.
Yeah.
Looked at Joliet at 8, 9, and 10, all sold out. Looked at Naperville, Plainfield, Naperville, all sold out. Everything.
Unbelievable.
Looked at Yorkville, sold out. Looked at Oswego, sold out.
Except
I found one showing at 8:30 in Oswego on a regular screen that still had tickets, so I got one.
I don't care if they showed it on the back of a paper plate.
That's not true because you won't see it in Morris. So.
Oh, that's true.
There was 2 other movie theaters I looked at that were all sold out a week prior. So, and these are big movie theaters.
They're huge, yeah. There's a lot of people going to this movie.
Oh, Bolingbrook sold out. Basically every theater within a 50-mile radius of us, and we're like 50 miles from Chicago.
Right.
Was sold out. So the entire Chicago suburbs was sold out at almost every movie theater.
Isn't that incredible?
Except for like single seats here and there. I was trying to get 3 seats together.
There was a report.
They all had seats, by the way, in the front row, but I'm not doing
Nobody
that.
wants to go to the front row. There was a report out about how many tickets Avengers Endgame has sold.
Has pre-sold?
Yeah. It was like something astronomical. It's sold more pre-ticket sales than any other show, I think.
What do you think will be the opening box office weekend?
Oh my gosh.
And I don't know when it releases international because they don't always release the same date.
I'm not sure what it releases international either, but boy, oh boy. Like domestically, isn't like 150 million really good?
That's very good, yeah. But, I mean, that's not Avengers good. That's like Captain Marvel good.
Okay, what was Avengers?
Opening weekend, I don't know. Infinity War.
I bet you...
Sorry for that dead air here. In release, Avengers total domestic gross was $678 million. International, $2 billion, by the way. Opening weekend was $257 million domestic.
So it's saying, here's 2 stories that are out. CNBC came out with one 13 hours ago, and then Deadline had one 2 days ago. And it says Avengers Endgame pre-sales estimated at 120 million plus.
That's insane. Nothing has ever pre-sold like that. Nothing.
And then it says 300 million domestic opening in play. But then,
definitely.
Well, CNBC came out 13 hours ago. It says Avengers Endgame is destined to smash box office record this weekend, but it won't surpass 300 million.
Okay, well,
I don't know. I think
257 million was the opening weekend for Infinity War, and you'd have
if you've already pre-sold 120, you've got to be 300 million
easily. I'm guessing
there's no way you couldn't have at least 200 million opening weekend.
I'm saying 350 million opening weekend.
Here's the thing. Now that you say that, though, 120 million pre-sale is filling up all of these places. So opening weekend, maybe you don't because everything's pre-sold already.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you're filling up those seats already with pre-sale tickets. So I don't know. I still think it's going to be over 300 million this weekend.
Yeah, for sure. I think it is going to be over 300 million. I think first of all, I mean, foreign on a film like that, it's usually double domestic.
Yeah.
And you got to think foreign is going to be even way bigger being the second film in this franchise because
big time.
I say only, it did 1.3 billion foreign sales. Okay. Unbelievable. But think of how many people are in the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
there's 8 billion people.
Okay. And half of those people probably don't have access to any sort of movies, but probably less than half, but whatever you call it. I mean, you gotta think that foreign number is going to be higher.
I agree.
I think you might see a $300 billion movie here.
You know what I can't imagine is all of the movies that come out this weekend, other than Endgame. How do you feel? How do you think
Does
those
anything?
people?
What comes out this weekend?
How do you think those people feel though, like about their movies playing this weekend?
I mean, it's kind of funny that it's still not the highest grossing movie of all time.
What isn't?
Infinity War.
No, but Endgame will be.
I don't know. I mean, it's hard to beat some of these.
I think it will, dude. I mean, it's built up so much.
Because you got to figure on these older ones, they got to be adjusted for inflation. But yeah, I don't know. It's interesting.
It is interesting, and it's going to be awesome, and I can't wait for it. I'm so pumped, and it's 3 hours long.
Yeah.
So this is another reason why we were looking at earlier shows, is because I mean, a 10 o'clock showing for normal movies, even a 2 hour and 10-minute movie, 2 hour and 15-minute movie, isn't that big of a deal.
Add a half an hour on for previews and advertisements,
and then add an hour onto the movie. I mean, that's a long movie.
Yeah,
and that's a long. You're not, if you watch a 10 o'clock show, you're not getting out of there until 2 a.m.
Yeah, and then we get an hour drive home.
Yeah, that's a long night.
Yeah.
So, I mean, luckily it's a Friday, so it's not that big of a deal. But that's, again, why we couldn't do a Thursday night showing like
and
we've
it's supposed
done
to rain,
before.
so
We've done before on Star Wars. Went there on a Thursday night, the night it opened.
Yeah.
We went to an 11 o'clock show before.
And who knows? Maybe we'll end up going Thursday night. We'll see.
No, I will not. If you and Dude do, that's great. I'll be going Friday night.
All right. So that has been the news.
That has been, yes, multiple news, comic book and regular other entertainment news.
What have you been watching, Jerry?
Game of Thrones.
Did you watch both of them?
I've watched both of them, yes.
Are we talking about it?
Would you like to?
Yeah.
Okay. Then we are.
I feel like
where would you like to start?
The first episode.
Okay.
The first episode back.
So I see now where you were talking to Pagoda about you couldn't really discuss a lot of things, but you were saying it's a lot of meet and greet. Basically, it's like, oh, you're still alive.
Everybody's
you're
showing
still
up.
alive.
Yeah.
Like, oh, hey, where did you come from? I didn't realize you were still here. All of that kind of stuff. I definitely see that now. There's also the aspect to it of like where you find out Jon Snow is the Targaryen heir.
Well, you find that out last season.
That's what I was going to say.
He finds out.
He finds out. We already know. So it's not really that big of a deal to the viewer.
No.
And I feel like they're playing that up more so than they need to because we've already known about it.
Yeah.
So it is a big aspect to the show. And I get that. And the character obviously needs to find out about it. I just feel like they could have played that a little bit differently.
Definitely.
To make it... I mean, why don't you just wait on telling us and we find out the same time Jon Snow does, you know?
Right. Because that was their big season ender. I mean... It was, yeah. Last season.
Yeah.
I think. I don't really remember.
And that's cool, but I mean, I feel like he could have found out at the same time, and it would have been a little bit bigger deal.
The problem is...
And it would have changed the dynamic of this
That was all known ahead of time.
Everybody knew about it, but really...
They never officially said it, but everybody kind of knew it.
Yeah, but I really feel like the Game of Thrones fandom is really good at holding spoilers, like not spoiling it for other people. Like I get on Reddit all the time, and the Reddit community is huge with the Game of Thrones. And nothing was ever really spoiled to me because they moderate that stuff really heavily, and the fans themselves don't want to spoil it for you. Because even like the first 4 seasons or 5 seasons of this, when they were following the books pretty closely, like nobody was talking about it, and I didn't hear anything about it, and I think that's really cool. That's why.
I don't know if that happened in the books or not. Well,
no, yeah, like his heir.
The books were different. They diverged, but I never read the last couple books.
They do diverge, but I think... Well, how many books are out now? 6?
Yeah, 5 or 6. I don't know.
Yeah,
I read like the first 3, and the ones I had read, the first 2 are like follow the show pretty much exactly, and then they start to diverge when the show takes off in popularity after like the 2nd season or whatever.
I thought it was later than that.
Maybe the 3rd. Yeah, okay. Maybe the 4th. I don't know. I can't believe there's been 7 seasons.
Unbelievable, isn't it?
Probably because like the first 3 seasons, I wasn't really watching the show. And
you weren't?
No, I don't think. I never had HBO, and then I went back and like binged starting like from season 3. I started from the beginning, but...
Well, I guess I take that back. I wasn't either because I remember everybody talking about this show Game of Thrones. I'm pretty sure 2 seasons had been out before I really watched.
I think me too. Something like that.
Like really watched any of it. And Amy and I were watching it together. And after the first season, we were like, holy shit, like this is a show we need to continue to watch. And it was something that we always have since.
I think it's amazing the reach of this show because like everybody's talking about it. And lots of times...
everybody does.
A lot of my friends will watch this because a lot of my friends are into this kind of stuff, but their wives never do. But in this case, like everybody's wives seems to be watching it too. Not Marley. She can't watch it. She has no interest.
In Game of Thrones?
Yeah, no.
I did not know this.
Yeah, and I feel like she would really like it, but she just can't watch it for some reason. I don't know.
Really? I did not know this about her, and it kind of changes the dynamic of our relationship.
But anyway, back to the first episode back. Yeah, I thought it was kind of overall kind of boring. That's where I got to the point where I was saying, guys, you only have like 6 or 7 episodes.
Oh, yeah.
Why are we doing this?
And that hits even heavier in the second episode.
Okay.
Because
nothing really happens.
Nothing happens. I mean, by the end of it, okay.
Let's talk about the first episode, the ending, though. That's what I was telling you. The ending was really good when he sees Bran.
Yes. Like when Jamie Stark or Jamie Lannister sees Bran. Yeah, absolutely. Because you're like, oh, shit.
The look on his face. Like, I just played it perfectly.
And that was put all over Reddit a bunch of times is like a meme between Bran and Jamie Lannister.
Which he's not Bran anymore.
No, and he says
but Jamie doesn't know that.
Well, he does now.
Right.
In the second, well, kind of. I mean, he doesn't really know what's going on, but he knows that Bran sees himself as something else. He doesn't really know he's the three-eyed raven.
Right. But he is not Bran Stark anymore.
Which is weird to...
It is, but he's not.
Which you can see clearly, seeing as how he just sits there like a statue staring at you oddly all the time.
There's lots of memes about that, too.
So
they do set up, though, in the first episode, this idea, which they've been playing with, but they're really solidifying it, that, like, Sansa Stark is like the be all end all, like she's the shit, and she's like the one that's,
I guess, in a way.
I just never liked that character, and then I feel like all of a sudden, out of the blue, pop. Okay, now she's like this.
She had no meat in her in the role,
but now they're doing this, and everybody's like singing her praises, like
until she came back basically to Winterfell, like
Right, it was then.
That's basically the only time that she's gotten any source of
They do have a
power
good like exchange between her and Tyrion, where it's like you always found a way to survive. You know what I mean?
Yep.
They both have. They're like, we both always found a way to survive. I didn't find it realistic at all that Tyrion was like not figuring on Cersei betraying him.
Yeah, that doesn't seem right at all. I don't. Yeah, he comes in front of everybody and like kind of stands up for his sister that has wanted him dead his entire life, and
there's no
he knows
reason better
why
than
he would think
that doesn't make any sense. And Sansa says that to him.
Yeah, they call him out right away.
Yeah,
and he still like plays that role, so I understand why Daenerys would be like, you're absolutely a fool in this.
And then going into the second one, there was that weird dynamic where I feel like up until this point, you really were like behind Daenerys.
Yes.
Like you thought she was a good person and a good character and like just, and she's really starting to be freaking annoying to an extent.
Yeah, I think they're doing that on purpose to try to, I don't know, maybe they're not.
And then by the end, when they do the big reveal, when Jon reveals to her, which first of all is so unbelievable that he would do that hours before this massive battle is going to happen.
Right.
It's just to set up drama, but
you don't need that drama
you
right
kind
now.
Of
the drama is that they're all going to die.
Yeah, and she even says it. She goes, "My whole life's goal has been to take back the Iron Throne." Really? Was that established?
Yeah. Like for Daenerys?
Yeah.
I think originally, yes, that was her idea, is to take over the seven kingdoms.
You know, she says always, but then she gets into the weeds at the beginning where she's freeing slaves and so. Was it always her goal to come back and take her rightful place in the Iron Throne? Yes. I thought she kind of like grew up away from her family.
Yes, but it was because she knew she was a Targaryen, and she knew Targaryens were the rightful heir to the throne. Her brother dies.
But her brother was the rightful heir to the throne.
He's dead.
I understand that.
So she thought she was the only one.
But she says her whole life since she was little.
Oh, okay. I see where you're going.
And she was pretty young when they were in when she was cast out.
Yeah, she was very young.
So they're establishing this, that you kind of get established with that character being like, listen, I'm a Targaryen. I was following around my brother who was the rightful heir, and he was always kind of bitching about it. And she's just like, forget all that. And then she gets involved with the Dothraki, and then she's almost like, oh, screw this whole, families and this and that.
Mm-hmm.
And then they kind of go like, okay, now I'm going to go on a quest to like free all these slaves and do all this. And then like now all of a sudden she's all about her family history.
Right. Yeah.
Which she was kind of established as an anti-character to that.
Mm-hmm. I would agree.
And then like all of a sudden now it's, oh, this has been my goal my whole life. And then to find out, and I could totally understand on her part being like suspect of what John's saying.
Here's a take on that though. Do you feel like she's saying that to the people that are in front of her so that they believe in her more?
Maybe.
Or, and we know as the watchers, like, that's not true.
Yeah.
That's not 100% true. She's just saying that to gain like power over them.
So
you know what I mean?
What do you think is going to happen? Like, is she going to go along with this whole John thing? Because she's constantly, and they softened her up in this second episode.
I don't think she's going to have a choice because they're being attacked.
Well, her whole point is, I'm the rightful heir.
Right.
And she freely admits that he's the rightful heir, if this is true.
But what do? Not fight the White Walkers?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying after that, is she going to, she's kind of established that she follows the protocol of the heir deserves it. And then she's admitting basically that he's the heir, so she needs to go along with it.
I don't think she's going to survive, to be honest with you.
Oh, I don't know. No, because what's going to happen after this battle is we're going to have to decide. There's this.
John's going to be left with the dragons.
How many episodes are there going to be of this battle? I know they've filmed one episode that's entire battle.
Yes, one whole episode is a battle.
But they have to wrap that up because they have to establish what comes next.
There has to be probably more than one. I bet you there's 2 episodes that are a majority of just fighting.
Okay, say that. So that leaves us with
2.
2 more episodes.
So if they do the next 2,
they can't wrap this up in a satisfactory way.
I agree. I don't think it's possible.
I don't like the way they've wasted 2 episodes, and they wasted a bunch last season knowing that this was happening.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they're wasted. First of all, let me say, I thought episode 1 was a little anticlimactic. Episode 2, I really liked the character. I think that they got back to the characters. Everything they did with Jamie and Brienne,
yeah, absolutely,
was amazing.
Cool. You know what? I think that basically like wrapped up her character arc, though. Like her character arc is done because she became everything. I
think she'll die.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So her character arc was like, I've always wanted to be this one thing, which is a knight. Like she's always wanted to be a knight, and now she's been knighted. So what else does she have to like go for? But there's no story left for her, really.
Right.
Unless you created a new path, like where she's in charge of people, I guess. But she's kind of already been. So I'm pretty sure she dies.
Yeah.
In the battle.
A lot of people are gonna die.
I know, and then they become a White Walker. So how do you win that?
But like they have more to do. They have all the Arya stuff to do.
Talk about her. She got a little nasty.
Oh yeah.
She's a nasty little girl. That's weird.
She seemed a little.
I understand her point of view though, because I would kind of feel the same way.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Like, before that fight happens,
showed a little Arya cleavage. Yeah. I don't know how to feel about that.
Like side boob and butt. I don't know how I felt about that either. It was really weird.
She still looks so young, but she's in her 20s, mid-20s, I think.
She's like 22 or 23,
yeah,
I think.
But she still looks so young, and you still think of her as a young character.
Yeah.
In any case, I thought that was cool. I did think it was a little like, she seemed very confident for not having any idea what she was doing.
Yeah, she did. You're right. And in a previous podcast, you had to look up like how sex worked.
Yeah.
For writing purposes, of course. Speaking of writing, I've got a person that works for the Corps of Engineers had put up a post on Facebook, and I thought it was really cool. And it says, I went from not caring about Theon to hating Theon to being disgusted by Theon, to feeling sad for Theon, to rooting for Theon, to being proud of Theon, to wanting to follow Theon into battle.
Yeah,
And
totally.
It says that is how you write a character.
That's so true.
Isn't that awesome?
That's so true.
I read that and I was like, holy crap, isn't that cool?
He's definitely going to die.
I feel like that's his only way out now.
Defending Brandon.
Yeah, in the North.
He's going to do it.
His like home. And seeing like Sansa so emotional about him, like coming back, and then they have like that hug. And that's the picture of the post too, is her hugging Theon. And it's like, man, you're doing the right thing here. You know, he screwed up a lot of things, and he knows now that he screwed up a lot of things, and he's like trying to make it right. And this is him coming to defend the North and Winterfell, and I'm going to basically die for you, is the only way for him to do that.
Yeah.
And he knows it, and now Sansa knows it. She sees it. She's like, all right, well, thanks for doing this.
I think this all ends too with them going back, and I read a little history today on I think the second, because they're making another Game of Thrones series after this.
They are?
Like a prequel, and I think it's going to be more.
No way.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Where'd you hear this?
I don't know
why is this not in the news?
It has been in the news.
No, why is this not in your news? Why have you never brought this up?
I should have. But it's apparently way in the... It follows Bran the Builder.
Oh.
It's like way previous. So
okay.
I think what they're going to do is like the history of the children. Is it Children of the Forest?
Yes.
Okay, I think that's what they're going to do. And I was reading about it. So Westeros, like the whole island before men were there, was basically the children of the forest and like giants and all those types of unicorns, those types of things.
Love unicorns and giants.
What happened was the first men came over and they came to the Fist of the First Man.
Okay.
And they battled against the children of the forest. The children of the forest, they've established this in the show, created the White Walkers.
Yes.
To help them against the men.
Yep.
And obviously at some point that turned and they teamed up. All right. Anyway, those first descendants of man settled the North. So that was a kingdom. And then the other group, which I can't remember the name of, settled like the southern lands and came in and, you know, they warred, and that would be like the descendants of all the other people. And that's why at one time the North was a separate country. That's why they always do the King in the North thing. Yeah. And they were conquered, I think, by the Targaryens and their dragons and stuff, and all brought under one. I don't know. This is a long way to say. I think the prequel is going to be about that, but what I was getting at is I think it'll end up being that the North is once again independent. Okay. I don't know who will be ruling them.
Or how, yeah.
Probably Sansa.
Probably. Maybe so.
Yeah. But...
Oh, man. I don't know how to guess this season, to be honest with you.
I don't think they're going to kill Daenerys or Jon Snow at all.
No, I'm positive Jon Snow will live.
Well, he's going to take the Iron Throne.
Yeah.
At the end.
Absolutely.
So they're going to have to do the whole battle against the Lannisters after this, you know? Or...
How do you do that?
Or the Lannisters Cersei ends up coming in and... You know, they were on the verge of losing, and then her 20,000 troops coming. Definitely.
Yeah? Good.
I think Jaime will kill her.
Oh, my gosh. I never even thought about that.
Or Tyrion. Or she has a baby, and the baby's a dwarf.
And it kills her.
It could.
It comes as a White Walker.
That's how her mom died, giving birth to Tyrion.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and that's why they hate him.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But they'd have to time hop significantly because she's not even showing yet.
Right. Yeah, that's whatever. That's all I got about.
There's going to have to be at least two episodes that are battle, because the first episode they're going to be losing, and the second episode is going to be them coming back to win against the White Walkers. Wouldn't it be funny though if like they started the next episode, there's like a half an hour of battle, and then like somebody just shoots the Night King in the head with like an obsidian
it's
arrow.
It's like all done.
All the White Walkers just fall over. They're like,
that's the overall goal.
Holy shit! Let's turn our gigantic army now against Cersei.
Who do you think? Who's the Night King? That he has to have some sort of like other story there, right? Like who the
They
Night
don't
King
have
is.
time to get into that. I don't see how they have time to
I
get
feel
into
like they need to tell us who the Night King is because
Yeah.
it's somebody that we probably know.
Yeah, I don't know.
You think it's like Daenerys' dad?
Could be.
That's what I'm wondering.
Never thought about it, but he does command a dragon.
Yeah. He's got a dragon back now.
Maybe he realizes that he's fighting against his heirs.
He's dead. He won't care.
He clearly is not, like, he has faculties. He's not like
He
a
does.
zombie.
He's not like the zombies. You're right. Because of
And so do all their captains. You know
yeah,
what I
but
mean?
I think those captains and the people that have been made were the people that were made from the forest children,
Maybe.
whatever, and then everybody is spawned from them.
Okay. Could be.
You know what I mean? Like they're the ones who give them life again
Mm-hmm.
because they hold the power of the White Walkers,
Right.
or the Night King does basically, and then he chooses other people. Yeah, that's all I've been watching.
In real military strategy, there's pretty much no way for the men to win because what you don't understand about military, right? Which you do, but I mean, some people don't understand probably, is that your military is nothing without the gigantic supply chain that feeds it resources.
for sure, and they don't
need any
resources whatsoever.
I mean, they could literally just siege that castle
And they bring that up
until
in the
everybody starves to death.
They bring that up in the first episode. Sansa does. She says, "Okay, you bring all of these people and all of these armies here. How do we support them? How do we feed, however many armies are coming here?"
But if you're
And then
the
nobody
Night
gave him an
King,
answer
you just surround that castle
until they die.
Until they all just die. And like launch dead cows in there like they used to do in the medieval times.
Yeah, like the plague. Yeah, you're right. That's the easiest way to do it. But I don't know. I mean, it doesn't make for good TV.
Right. I mean, they do have the 2 dragons, I feel like.
2, but they do have 1 dragon. I mean, 1 dragon is good enough to screw a lot of things up.
They shouldn't have done that.
I agree.
They shouldn't have turned that 1 dragon.
I feel like that's what gives them the overall edge.
Yeah.
In the fight, that gives them the edge to win.
Definitely.
So everybody becomes a White Walker.
Of course, with 3 dragons, seeing the destruction they've rained last season against Sam's family's army and all those armies, they just like fly down and just roast like 10,000.
Yeah, like a lot. I really do. I don't honestly think that I would put it past these people to like have everyone die.
What if the big surprise at the end of the season is there's another season?
No, not going to happen.
What if the big surprise is, guys, we lied, there's more than 7 episodes?
Maybe hidden episode.
I don't know.
I don't know either. But again, that's basically all I watched. I went back and rewatched the Jurassic Park movie, The Fallen Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that what it's called?
Yeah.
Just to see if it was really what we've talked about, because I only watched it one time. I went back and watched it again. Yeah, it's not good.
No.
I wanted it to be better. I liked it. I liked the beginning of it. It's just the ending just sucks. It's just not a good ending.
Yeah.
But
I've got some other what you've been watching.
Okay. Hammer me.
Well, first of all, in the Game of Thrones thing, I think from now on, every week, we got to come ready to play, and we'll in depth every episode.
Yes.
From here on out,
we can do it. Together, me and you.
The only other really thing I've been watching is Barry, which is in season 2 on HBO.
And I keep saying I want to watch that, and I look at it all the time on HBO, and I haven't watched it yet
so
because I've been watching Game of Thrones and Crashing.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go.
So,
season 2 is like 4 episodes in. It's just a really good show. I really enjoy it. Season 2 is not as good as season 1 so far. But
it isn't.
No, but it's still good.
Bill Hader's really good.
He's an amazing actor.
That's good. I love him.
Yeah, he's super good in it.
I've had
all the
a
actors
love for him, like all through his Saturday Night Live career.
Well, he's dark, man. He goes dark in this. You'd love this show, man. Definitely really good. So I've been watching Barry and Game of Thrones. I've been working a lot, so I haven't had time to watch a lot of other stuff.
Right.
I have been watching American Idol, which we've talked about.
This is a very busy season for us, and I'm not planting or doing anything like that, but there's just so much baseball.
It's good. Like, I'm in a better place now. The first beginning of this week,
Glad to hear it.
I needed
mentally or
yeah,
okay.
both. I was under a lot of stress because until you get things rolling,
yeah,
it's very
tense,
anxiety filled.
mm-hmm.
And I had a lot of work to do to get to the point where I could start planting.
Okay.
And then like there's a lot of anxiety around just getting your planter out there and getting it to the point where it's working.
Right. Right. The way you need it to work.
Yeah. And so that happened today. I started planting and broke down immediately. And then
Oh, you started planting
today,
no kidding.
broke down, fixed it. Then I get rained out.
That sucks.
So I got 20 acres in.
How do you feel about that? How does that make you feel when you haven't completed a field?
It doesn't bother me.
It doesn't?
No.
See, it would bother me, I think.
There was no way I was going to complete the field. It's a big field. It's going to take me a couple days.
Gotcha.
But I got it rolling, and so like I felt the anxiety melt off. This is a spraying.
Oh, that's good.
The spraying first it's just I hate spraying. And
Do you really?
I had a lot of ground to cover, and I felt like I was on some sort of invisible time clock.
Did you get all your spraying done?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good.
For corn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good.
So like the fields are ready to be planted. I know my planter is working. It's full of corn. It's sitting in the shed.
Ready to rock and roll whenever it quits raining.
And my sprayer like takes more to operate. There's lots of things going on. There's no auto steer,
Oh, you don't have auto steer in your sprayer?
No.
I thought you did.
God, no.
Oh, so you have to steer?
I have your father-in-law's old sprayer.
I know. I thought it was auto steer equipped.
No, gosh. No.
Huh.
It's really hard to get auto steer sprayers.
Is it?
Very, very hard. They go too fast.
I'm pretty sure David's is
Probably.
auto steer.
You got to
I
have
know it is.
big tires, and they got to be heavy.
Oh yeah. I think he put new tires on his actually.
The problem is the
Rear
sprayer
tires.
I have is it's light.
Yeah, it is light.
And it's light on the front end.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not a good recipe and when you're going 12 miles an hour,
yeah,
it's not a good recipe. So I got everything sprayed. I got everything rolling. I think I got my planter fixed today, but so I'm feeling a lot of anxiety melt away. And then also like once you're in that groove, it's a lot easier to just like quit and go do something else when you've already planted, 80 or 100 acres in it, that day.
Yeah, it makes you feel better because you've accomplished something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can understand that for sure. I have, so was that all what you're watching?
Yeah, I watched Shazam, but can't really review that because you haven't.
I haven't seen it yet. Sorry.
I was going to do a Dumbo review, but I don't care.
We don't have time
anymore.
Do you have a are we doing what's in the box?
We can.
Okay, well, real quick before that.
How much time we got? How much time you got, mister?
It's 1:51.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I know. We got to go quick, but real quick.
We're not going to do what's in the box then.
Why?
Because we don't have time.
Yes, we do.
Okay, fine.
I just want to say what I'm reading real quick because I do read comic books still, unlike you. I read that old Man Quill thing real quick, but I've been reading Daredevil, the new Daredevil run by Chip Zdarsky.
Yeah.
And the artist is Marco. I don't know how to say his last name. I think it's Cicchetto. It's Checchetto. Cicchetto. I love the art in this book. It's phenomenal. The way they've drawn Daredevil, like some of the pages that Daredevil's in is just absolutely amazing. But the story so far, it's typical Daredevil where he's really beat up and down, but this is different. Like he's in a real bad place mentally, I guess. He has been, and he's trying to come back from that. And he starts talking about like there's one part in the recent book that I read, I think it was number 3. And he says it's split between panels. And he says the one thing, and this is while he's getting like the crap just pummeled out of him. He's like the one thing. And then in the next panel it says, I know. And then it's just is. And then the last frame or the last panel is fear. He's like, I know fear. Because it's this season or this run is called Daredevil No Fear. KNOW, No Fear. And he says that it's while he's being beat up and like you feel like he's basically lost. And then there's just this one frame like one whole splash page of just him standing there, and it's absolutely amazing. I love this book so far. There's only 3 out, but I would suggest everybody buy this and read it. It's
Sweet.
really, really good. And then this last episode, or I keep saying episode, this last book, or no, I guess it'd be book 2. There was a big surprise in the middle that he gets kind of saved by another Marvel character that I won't spoil. And then at the end of that book, he's got some of the same gear as this guy. And it's so cool. Like it's so cool. I don't want to spoil it because I want you to read it.
I will read it. Definitely.
And because like I said,
I'm waiting for the first trade to come out.
I want you to read it like book by book.
Okay.
I feel like it makes it better.
Well, we'll see.
Maybe not, but it's very, very good. I suggest everybody read it. It's dark and gritty like I like. It feels like Batman to me in the Marvel universe, which is always what I want. It's right in my wheelhouse, and you need to read it.
I will definitely.
Okay.
I did have a bunch of what you're listening to because I've been listening to a lot of podcasts, but I'm not going to do that this round.
Okay. So what's in the box?
We'll do the what's in the box. And these, Jerry, are some oldies and goodies. They're from June 2016.
June 2016.
Yeah.
Wow, that's 3 years old.
That's 3 years old, man.
That's old in comic book world.
We got Doctor Who.
Doctor Who with a Matt Smith cover.
The 11th Doctor Adventures, Year 2.
I've never read any of those. Have you?
Nope.
You have them, but you just haven't ever read them. Okay.
Yeah. No, I mean, I've read a bunch of Doctor Who. I don't think I've read the 11th Doctor Adventures.
Okay. I feel bad for never reading any of the Doctor Who. I've kind of fallen out.
We got Daredevil, number 8, Charles Soule.
Yeah, so his run ended.
Blind Man's Bluff starts now.
Okay. Number 8. There was a lot of issues of that.
Yeah, there was.
But that one just ended before this new run started.
We got, look at this cover, man. Amazing Spider-Man number 14.
Whoa, that is different.
Best covers ever.
So the last time we did What's in the Box, there was a Spider-Man. It was the same run as Spider-Man, and it was really dark. It was like all black, and this one is basically all white and light.
It's like a watercolor.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Dan Slott, yeah, this one looks super cool.
Dan Slott, he's gotten some crap in his writing, but I like him.
I like him a lot too. We got Star Wars number 20.
Who is that?
I don't know, but it's a Wookiee.
Oh, it is a Wookiee. Yeah.
I don't think it's Chewbacca though. He looks angry.
Yeah, Chewbacca's never angry. Kevin Smith talks about Chewbacca, about how he wants to see for his story arc, for him to come back and kill what's his name?
Kylo Ren?
Yeah, that's the guy. Wants him to come back and kill Kylo Ren. But the way he says it is he wants him to come back with a lightsaber and cut off his dick.
This is from the journals of old Ben Kenobi.
Oh, so good oldie Benny.
Ben Kenobi's adventures, probably post something.
Post something. Okay.
Post Revenge of the Sith.
Okay. Post-apocalyptic.
We got Lazarus, number 22. I love that cover.
That's a really good cover. It's so simple, and Lazarus is really good. Read that book.
Greg Rucka.
I finished that one. It's really good. I haven't started Lazarus Risen.
Look at this. Swamp Thing, number 6.
Ooh. Who wrote that one?
Len Wein.
Oh, boy. Yeah. I need to read that.
Looks like Moon Knight on the cover.
Oh, that's a guy I haven't ever read either, and I need to.
I've read a lot of Moon Knight. Marvel's Batman, if you will.
See, I feel like that's Daredevil.
They say that, but really, it's Moon Knight.
Moon Knight is very similar, even looking at him.
I think it was like almost a Batman ripoff. Batman Rebirth, number 1, right here. Tom King's first issue of the Rebirth run, which me and Jerry have both read. This is...
I haven't read all of it. I read the first trade.
This is right here. These are the pages.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Wait.
That's in the second or third episode.
Book.
Yeah.
Yeah, I keep saying episode as well.
This is the one that ends with the whole thing with Calendar Man.
Yes.
Which is super confusing. This book, I feel like... sorry, I'm talking off mic here. Batman Rebirth, like the first 2 issues didn't have any like coherent
No, they
anything
didn't.
going on.
No, they didn't.
And then they figured it out, I guess, but the first two made no sense.
No, I feel like they did it. He did it on purpose because of Calendar Man.
Yeah, I guess.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because Calendar Man changes time and the seasons go by, like he dies.
There's so many advertisements in this book.
There is a lot. I just noticed that when
There's
you're
like
flipping through the pages.
10 pages of other books.
Super annoying.
It's because it was they did the whole rebirth thing. So everything went back to number one.
Yes.
So they got Green Lantern number one, Wonder Woman number one, Aquaman, Green Arrow.
Yeah.
I like that Green Arrow cover there.
Yeah, that's what I felt is that Calendar Man, they did it on purpose to like kind of confuse you because that's how Batman was at the time, because Calendar Man's so goofy and he's trying to explain to people
Right.
what's going on, but nobody really knew what was going on until it was taken care of.
I feel like this book is probably worth some money
The cover is really cool.
because it's number one.
It looks like an Alex Ross cover, but I don't think it is.
Ooh, DC Universe
there-
Batman. This says number one as well. So that's makes no sense.
No, it doesn't. But that's got Gotham Girl and Gotham.
This is the one where he takes down the plane.
Yeah. So
Or
cool.
rides down the plane. It's right here. I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great. This is so. Yeah,
You
that's
definitely need to keep that.
Yeah,
You
for
need
sure.
to bag and board it.
Civil War not hardcover, but like the
Stiff cover.
stiff cover. Civil War number 2. I think we've already previously seen number
Civil War
1.
2, yeah. I've never read any of that. It doesn't intrigue
The
me.
art is
It sh-
amazing though.
I wish I should get into it, but gosh, this is the thing with comics, guys, is that there's just so much stuff.
Look at this cover, man.
Can't read
It's
everything.
Glossy.
It's really nice.
The emergence of a new inhuman with the power to predict the future has already had a calamitous effect. In an ambush gone wrong, one hero has perished while another lies critically injured. Now, having experienced the damage that forecasting tomorrow can bring firsthand, Earth's greatest champions must make a choice: protect the future or change the future.
I didn't realize Brian Michael Bendis wrote that.
Oh yeah, for
That's
sure.
awesome.
Deadpool number 14, Civil
With
War
Civil
tie-in
War. Yeah.
edition.
That's kind of cool. I would read that.
Yeah.
There's so many.
Look at the Amazing Spider-Man covers, man.
Those are awesome.
Amazing Spider-Man number 15, Dan Slott. The
Same
new
style.
the new Iron Spider, Mary Jane.
Oh wow,
This is intriguing.
that is intriguing. But the art on the cover is amazing.
Yeah,
It's
it
like
really is.
pink and purple and light colored, and it's amazing.
We got Walking Dead
Mm.
number 156, and now remember we're at like 190 now, coming out next month, I think.
Really?
So these are way
Holy
back, man.
crap! That's kind of a cool cover though, with him holding a dead head.
Negan.
I'm not. Oh, gosh, I'm sorry, guys. I'm just not a big fan.
Batman Rebirth number 2.
Look at that. With him,
Gotham Girl. I forgot about that. This is the other great scene where they're fighting Solomon Grundy in the park.
Yes, that's really cool. And I love it because Batman comes in and says, like, he talks about it, how he
I'll
says,
do it right now.
Yeah.
Batman, thank you. You were letting him get too far. Excuse me. I don't understand. From when I interrupted, you would have caught Grundy in 1.3 seconds. He would have trampled that man in 0.7 seconds. I've been watching you. You're good. You're doing good. Do better.
That's so cool. That's classic Batman right there. Gosh, I love that so much.
Oh, this also has the scene where that guy goes
doing
into
good.
Jim Gordon's
Do
office
better.
and stabs himself in the neck.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, dude. This is a rad book. right
It's
here.
very, very good. It's got me so intrigued. I need
Batman
to keep reading
Rebirth, the first trade, if you're looking
Oh, yeah.
for something to get, which is like the first 5 issues or something.
it. Yeah.
It's really good.
Very good. That's what I'm saying. It's like classic Batman.
It's no Snyder Capullo, the 52 run.
I feel like it could be.
No, it isn't.
It isn't, but it could be. I haven't read all of it. There's like 60 issues out now, 67 or something.
It can't be that high.
Oh, yeah.
This is 1, and that was 3 years ago. So how many issues a month comes out on that title?
You just said that Walking Dead was at that one was 156, and they're at 190.
Is
something
Batman
now.
monthly though, or bi-week or weekly?
I'm not sure what it is, but they're kicking out some issues.
I'm just saying if it's monthly, that's 12 issues a year.
It's got to be more than that, then.
It's got to be 24.
Because
if it must be 24 a year, because that would put it at about 60 by now. So
and it's more than that.
Yeah.
Or no, maybe it is 60. I think it was number 57 that came out that caught my eye, and I was like, 57? I need to start reading that because they're so far ahead.
That means it's about time for another rebirth.
Yeah. Yeah. According to DC, for sure. I really like that book. Oh, and in the Daredevil that I read, they did it similar to that style where Daredevil tells, I don't want to tell you the other character.
Don't tell me. I'm going to read it.
I don't want to tell you the other character, but he says in a portion of the book with this other character, he says, he's like, it's an unfair match if I have weapons. It's like, because he talks about like being so surgical, and it shows these like bullet traces, like just skimming a guy's skin and skimming his shoulder and skimming another shoulder and his like knees and legs. And he's doing it on purpose. Like he comes up, skims him with all these bullets. And then he's like, this is a completely unfair match. He's like, and I'm not going to kill you. And then he just like leaves. Well, he saves him and then leaves. Oh, and there's a scene where he says, he's like, I'm not you. I'm not human. I'm the devil. And he like blows this room up because he has these guns and he points them over to the side and he literally blows the room up on purpose and then saves him from the room. It's so cool. But the way they describe it, like through panel to panel, is just like how they do Batman. Like when he's talking about breaking the bones in the guy's body, you know, it's the same way they do it, and gives me all the feels, man.
Awesome.
Love it. So, what do you got now?
That's it.
That's all you got?
That's all I got.
This was Snarf Talk, episode 22 in the books.
The end of Snarf Madness. Back to regular programming after this.
Yes, sir.
We're going to be doing more of everything you love.
Yeah, everything we love.
All right. Thanks, guys.
We'll see ya.